Hey everybody, this is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine, and it is about 11:55 p.m. on Friday night, January 17th, 2020. Let me turn the volume off of my video. This is Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. And welcome anybody coming in the chat. I hope y'all are doing okay. I'm pretty exhausted. Just feeling worn down from the neuro war. The neuro war goes on. The targeting goes on, but I thought I'd do, a live stream tonight on Friday. I haven't done a live stream in a while. Hey, Cal, man, how you doing? Cal Marsh says, hi, Kyle. How you doing, man? Hey, Tansy. How you doing, Tansy? Good to see you. I hope you and your son are doing well. I'm doing bad. Kind of brokenhearted too. Hey, Ella Advocate. Ella Advocate says, woohoo. Yeah, so tonight, what we're going to do, guys, we'll hang out for a little while, and I want to go through a video that Corey sent me. He sent me a YouTube video with Elon Musk talking about AI to Joe Rogan. And I want to go through that because, y'all have heard me say Elon Musk is basically the poster child for the military-industrial complex. So he's done a lot of stuff with SpaceX. He's done a lot of stuff. Neurolink is coming out, which is a brain-to-computer interface, which comes directly from these many years of torturing targeted individuals like us. But there's also something maybe y'all haven't heard of. It's called Starlink, where Elon Musk and his company Starlink has put up like thousands of satellites, right? They put up thousands of satellites globally, not just in America, to strengthen the Internet of Things, the global internet, basically. And I think that some of these satellites are also being used to target individuals worldwide. So I do want to go through some of that. Hey, Tiber Septim. Tiber Septim says, hello, bro. Tansy says, Kyle, we've been getting punishment for going on your live stream. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of punishment too, for doing those panels. I was getting hit really hard that last panel, like where it actually turned off one of the light bulbs in my fan. And hey, Wayne, man, how you doing, brother? Yeah, Tansy says, but our love for you is stronger than their punishment. Yeah, and my love for like getting this information out and stopping this somehow, overpowers, what my attackers can punish me with. I'm feeling pretty burnt out, like my nervous system and my brain. But so that's why tonight we're going to kind of watch a video. I'm going to comment on it. I want to comment on the stuff that Elon Musk is saying in terms of what is happening to targeted individuals. And he'll say this a lot. And hey, Barefoot Sungazer says, I missed the last live show. And okay, hold on, something popped up on my screen. I missed the last live show and I was so sad. It unsubbed me from this channel, so I missed the last one. Yeah, I was worried about that. I was worried about if I take a break for too long, a lot of people won't get notifications anymore, and some people will be unsubscribed. YouTube is doing this thing where if you don't like make a video every day, you run the risk of people being unsubscribed from your channel. And then when you do your next video, a lot of people who get notifications won't get notifications. So that's why I'm very careful about taking breaks. I want to take breaks sometimes because my targeting is just so bad. Like my brain just does not work. They're running my brain with remote neural manipulation. But you run the risk of people being cut off from your channel and your channel like kind of shrinking, kind of falling backwards, but we're just going to do it anyway. I'll do what I need to do. I know you guys will too. Hey, Nobody. I just talked to Nobody tonight. Nobody says, what's up, man? Interesting info. Yeah, I'm going to talk more about Elon Musk. I think he's somebody that it could be a bridge, right? He could be a bridge because non-targeted individuals or people who aren't targeted like us directly, they're interested in Elon Musk, right? They can check out Neuralink, they can check out SpaceX. He's out there in the public. what he's doing, he is a poster child for the military industrial complex. And a lot of these advancements that they're getting from murdering us, from torturing us, they're funneling out through a lot of Elon Musk's companies like Neurolink, and Starlink is actually helping with the targeting. I'm very, very sure of it. But let's listen to this. Native is just saying hey to everybody, and hey Native, I hope you guys are doing well. Let me say a prayer at the beginning of the live stream. We'll hang out for a while, watch some videos. I haven't watched the whole thing, so I kind of wanted to watch it with you guys, and let's listen to what he says about AI. Basically about AI. Yeah. Tansy says, I think the satellites are a part of this and low flying. Yeah, there's so many thousands of satellites in the under the ionosphere, and then out in space. And all these satellites can route signals from microwave towers and 5G towers and ground radar and stuff like that. So these satellites are the brain of the targeting, right? They route everything, but then there's this whole infrastructure on the ground that's being used to tether targeted individuals to remote neural manipulation, to do brain to computer interfaces, to really mess with us, and then to also shoot do weapons externally at us too. And then of course you got the ground weapons. You've got people who supplement it, neighbors who supplement it, and people with ground weapons all around who supplement all this crap, you know. Yeah, David Irwin says thumbs are useful. I think so. I think, yeah, thumbs up this video, guys. Let's get it out. There's going to be some important information. Hey, Badger. Honey Badger says, Sir Wayne, the most valiant knight in all of the land. I got to check out some of your newer videos, Wayne. I've just been like off of YouTube. I've only been kind of watching like entertainment, like movie critic stuff, and just going through some rough stuff, like going through my targeting, which is rough, and then some other stuff that I can't talk about, but basically my heart's broken. So I'm gonna have to heal up with the targeting. And it's like whenever you feel like whenever you feel like strong emotions, right? It seems like our attackers can use those, and the remote neural manipulation gets worse. So now I wish I could go through all that because I really want to get it out. You know what I'm going through, but it's bad. It's bad. Like when your heart gets broken, and just the remote neural manipulation gets so much worse, and I just feel like shaky. I feel like I can't enjoy anything, you know. So, but I mean, I'm using my defenses. They work. The lead cap works. Dave Case's CD. I wanted to. Oh, I didn't pull it up, but the bone conduction headphones. I showed everybody the bone conduction headphones, but I'll pull them up again right here. And I got them off of Amazon. These are wired bone conduction headphones, and they go like this. But I was talking to another targeted individual, and what I found is if you get the Schumann resonance, there's this one Schumann resonance. It's like pure Schumann resonance, and you play it through the bone conduction headphones. So they go over like this. And my hearing aid is ringing, but they go kind of like this, and so they're you know, sending vibrations through your bones. And if you get the Schumann resonance and do that, like or if I do, my V2K completely disappears. And another targeted individual, I told him about it, and he was saying, yeah, that Schumann resonance, like it's really helping. So it's like vibrating your bones, your nervous system, and everything, and it seems to interfere a lot. Also, I had to, which sucks. My hearing aid is like ringing a lot. I had to get new hearing aids. See, these are in the canal hearing aids. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but they squeal a lot because I got them on really high. My other hearing aids, my attackers were just hitting that connection that connects the battery, and they were the hearing aids were getting a lot weaker. So I actually had to get a new pair, but it does fit inside the ear. You can't even see them. So that's pretty cool. I like these a lot. Hey Bruce, hey Brigitte. Bruce says, Kyle, have you noticed an increase in the activity, especially since around Christmas? I've noticed an increase in the activity after the New Year's. And you know what I was thinking, like I started getting mobbed by white cars, which my color coded mobbing I haven't had for years. After the new year, I got mobbed by these white cars. It just happened a couple of times. And I think that after the new year, the budget goes back to zero, right? It's kind of like these local government and federal government agencies, they have a budget to work with. And then at the beginning of the year, I'm not sure if it's the beginning of the fiscal year for them, but I think it is because my vehicular stalking got a lot worse. And then my attackers, of course, are just shredding my mind. I can block and attenuate a lot of stuff, but it seems like if they want to mess with my emotions in a general way, you know, they can do that. But it seems like with Dave Case's CD, my attackers will do this injecting visuals, right, with the remote neural manipulation. And if I miss like a couple of nights, like 2 or 3 nights, they start doing their litmus, which is a picture of the roadrunner and the coyote. They will visually put that in my head, and they're checking to see if the visual is strong, if they're implanting a strong visual in my head. So they're like checking their systems. And they did that when I was trying the bone conduction headphones with Dave Case CD. You know, because I usually just pump them in. I pump Dave Case's CD into my ears with the COS headphones. So I feel like using Dave Case's CD with the bone conduction headphones would be good for during the day. But if you do use it with the COS headphones, don't replace that because you need that going straight into your ear. When you use the bone conduction headphones, like use it for other stuff or use it during the day, but still use Dave Case's CD when you sleep or how you were using it before. I would recommend that. But you guys can try anything you want. You know, try whatever works for you. You know. Hey, Nicholas. Nicholas says, I've survived dozens of attempted heart attacks a day. Yeah, Nicholas, really use Dave Case's CD. If you're getting the heart palpitations and you're getting the heart attack feeling, please use Dave Case's CD because you know these strong heart attack things. Sometimes they'll shoot an external beam at your chest at the same time, but most of the time when you're having the heart attack thing or heart palpitations or like where it feels like arrhythmia, that's going to be from remote neural manipulation. When I started using Dave Case's CD, I didn't have the strong heart attack feeling. So I'd really urge you to do that. And just go to antitinnitusb2k.com. And Honey Badger put a link in. It says, check out this link, y'all. Kyle's right. Elon was put in place to do what he is doing. His grandfather was arrested for technocracy decades ago. Yeah. And I want to say this. Elon Musk oftentimes says AI is he may even say it in this video. We're gonna start watching this video, and I'll get my tablet so I can read y'all's comments. He always says AI is going to be very dangerous, and we're not sure what it's going to evolve into. So we've got to mix it with human brains. He says that a lot. He says the only real solution, because it's moving on like a train, the AI is being advanced. So he says a lot, and you know, I have my own suspicions of why he says this, but he says, you know, the only way to make sure that the AI is not going to kill us all, I mean, why don't they just not advance it? Just slow down on it, tell the public about it so that we don't get some kind of Skynet thing, which we already pretty much have. But he says, Elon Musk says, the way to curtail the danger of AI is to mix it with human brains and human personalities. So that's an angle of what they're doing to us. There's a lot of angles to the targeting, a lot of technology, a lot of training, research, and development on these weapons, directed energy weapons and neuro weapons. But one of the angles is they're trying to mix in our personalities and our brain mapping with the AI so that it kind of has a human personality. And they're doing that with some of us. They're doing that with a lot of us. They're hooking up brains to these quantum computers. And so it's kind of incorporating what it's mapping in us. And I feel like Elon Musk says that. So when all this comes out and they're like, oh, well, yeah, we experimented on all these people's brains, but we had to because the AI would have gotten unruly. We had to mix it with human brains, right? And that's what Neurolink is going to be experimenting while, you know, it's going to give people some benefits and stuff like that, but he's going to be getting information from that too. And then also it's just so overwhelming. You know, they're coming out with these wireless earbuds and stuff. Those are implants. Those are where consumers buy their own implants. Because if you have a wireless headphone in your ear, wireless earbud, it's going to have Wi-Fi signals, electromagnetic signals that can be pumped into your inner ear. And your inner ear is the pathway to the brain and the nervous system. So now they've got consumers just buying their own implants, mass experimentation, mass torture. It's like there's certain layers of it, right? So there's some people who are getting like suggestion pumped into their brains, maybe V2K pumped into their brains, or subliminal V2K where they don't hear it, but it's coming up in their own inner voice. So there's many more people with that kind of stuff. And then there's our layer, which is just ripping us apart with torture and experimentation. And then, you know, psychic driving with the V2K, with audible V2K, and then pumping up our anxiety, you know, with gang stalking and stuff like that, and then verifying the technology too. Nicholas says, I'm tired of the take one for the team inside jokes. I can't wait for the whole story. Yeah, and it's a big story, I think. I think there's a lot of angles to it. I think there's a ton of angles to it that we're going to find out. That's why it's hard to just wrap it up like, oh, we're targeted because of this. There's so many different contractors doing so many different things, experimentation, trying to shut up whistleblowers, and so many different angles of what they're doing, feeding these DHS fusion centers to justify more and more civilian armies to do this kind of thing. It's just a huge, huge genocide, huge inhumane kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's the top of the pyramid. They're going for it. They're going for complete control. But that means that they're gonna put themselves way out there, and the public should know about this by now. I'm just gonna say the public knows about it. Vulcan, Barefoot Sun Gator says, Vulcan Wolverine, you and everyone else should check out this website. It's brilliant. So many amazing resources and such broad topics. Can spend years going through all the documents, videos, and stories. Okay, she put up Barefoot Sun Gazer put up a link. It's chemtrailplanet.com/nano.html. Yeah, and chemtrails have so many angles to them too that do play into the targeting, do play into global mind control, and then also play into manufactured weather. Manufactured global warming. Nicholas says, I'm continuing to comb YouTube. I posted my most relevant recent finds. I found a guy named Gabriel Cruz. Yeah, we went to the same elementary school. A lot of good information. Yeah, everybody check out Gabriel Cruz's channel. He is very smart. He knows the technical side of this. He's targeted too. He's really, really smart. And he talks about SAIC. And I can't remember what that stands for, but he's saying that SAIC is a big part of the experimentation, like the brain experimentation, the genetics experimentation. And a lot of the articles that I've got in my previous videos, they're from SAIC. So SAIC is putting out information about neuroweapons, directed energy weapons, contractors doing this or that. This also involved in collecting data from the experimentation. And I think it's more complicated than that. But check out Gabriel Cruz's channel if you have not. Please subscribe to him, support him. He's really smart. He sees a lot of angles that are very important with all this targeting. He's a very nice guy. You know, he's able to keep his composure during this targeting, which is really hard. You know, I feel sometimes like I just want to pull out my hair and yell. I'm going to try not to tonight. And I kind of need to get my mind off of things, you know, by doing a live stream. Honey Badger says, Tesla was just rated as the most valuable car company in America, even though it produces way less cars than GM or Ford. Yeah, it's like, because they're saying that it can get rid of oil, it can get rid of gas and everything like that, which I think is a good idea. I just think they could do it a lot cheaper, and I think everybody could have free energy, but that's not going to happen. They're going to they're going to try and like go over to like a Tesla type car, but make it so expensive. They still want to transition so these big corporations can still make money off of free energy. You know, it's all about money. It's all about money control. And I think that when people get really rich, then it's about controlling people. You know, the greed goes from, hey, we want money. Now we've got all the money in the world. So now it's about just controlling people. And Tansy says, hi to all the newcomers. Thanks for coming on. Much love and blessings to you. Yeah, definitely. Welcome any new targeted individuals or anybody just finding this channel. We go through information here, and I will be doing some more panels. I just kind of wanted to go through some quick videos, and I also found a really, really good article straight from the Air Force about the neuro war that's happening. Tanya says, wow, the phones are so bad here, Bridge. Yeah. Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of targeted individuals lately, and it's like our calls, like we'll hear echoes on them. My friend in Canada completely gets cut off from me. And I guess I can tell y'all now, my friend in Canada, he pretty much, he knows that he has a stemoceiver. He got a stemoceiver put near his brain when he was little. And he was looking for a hospital to remove that implant, and he found a hospital in Iran that agreed to go in and look at it and then take it out if there was something there. But since the Iran, you know, since President Trump hit that general in Iran with the drone, and now there's like, you know, there's a lot of people think there's a war building up. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, he can't go to Iran now to do that. I was thinking Spain would be a good place because a lot of target individuals have said they've gone to Spain, doctors in Spain that have gotten their implants out. And I think that I have at least one implant that it intensifies the targeting. They don't need it. They don't need the implants. They don't need the old school little size of rice implants anymore, but it's a redundant system that they keep doing. It's old technology. They don't really need it. They can hack into our bio fields. They can hack into our brain frequency. We have magnetite naturally in our brain that can conduct electromagnetic frequencies. Plus, we've got all the nanotechnology and everything like that, and the Morgellons type stuff. But you know, the military-industrial complex, these people doing the experimentation, even though something's an old technology, they'll keep doing it. They'll keep doing it because it's a backup. That's what redundant system means, backup. So they want a backup system on this, a backup system on this, and a backup system. And then it's like they don't even use it just for backup. They use it to intensify everything to get clearer signals from the brain and the nervous system. So it's like, say you just had nanotechnology and the Morgellons type stuff in you, and they were targeting you. It would be pretty intense, but if they put an implant in you, like a rice-size implant on your vagus nerve, or you know, in your ear, or any of those places where they put those, then they can get a more intense signal from you, and they can put more intense signals back to you. So remote neural monitoring, remote neural manipulation can be more intense. So I think that they still, I pretty much know that they still do that. I asked Dr. Hoffer, I said, you know, are doctors putting these implants in people not knowing that they're going to be tortured? And he went like this. He was like nodding. That's how he would say yes or no to me on things that he really couldn't talk about. He'd just go like this. That's the negative thing, that doctors are putting implants into, you know, targeted individuals, citizens, without knowing that they're going to be tortured. The good thing that he responded on was when I was like, are there good people in these systems, in law enforcement, in government, in these agencies that are trying to stop this? And he was like a resounding, you know, he nodded. He didn't say anything, but it was a resounding yes, you know. Hey, Preston. Preston says, Cheryl, I like that psychedelic profile picture. Hey, Cheryl. I really hope you guys are doing well. Is Jeff here? I haven't seen Jeff in a while. I'm gonna have to text him. I hope he's doing okay. It's hard to keep track of everybody. I know we're going through hell. We're going through hell. Hillary Coffit says, please, I need help. I think they're going to kill me for real. I am scared. Hillary, there is a targeted individual 24-hour helpline. If you go to Freedom for Targeted Individuals, I think the number is on there if you need some emergency help. Now, if it's a real emergency and you're so much pain and you think they're going to kill you, what I would recommend, and people can put what they think in chat, what I would recommend is go to the emergency room, tell them about the pain that you are in, right? Because I can't stop the torture for you now. I can give you defensive ideas and stuff like that, which I'm going to do on videos. But if you're in so much pain that you feel like you're going to die, go to the emergency room and don't tell them about the targeting. Just tell them about the pain that you're in, so at least they can give you something for the pain and the anxiety, and it can tone it down. And then what I'd do after that is I would start getting like Dave Case's CD, grounding. Those things are pretty cheap. Less EMF headgear, start with that. You know, I understand everybody's in emergency mode. I'm in emergency mode. Like my brain, I'm not sure what's going on with my brain and I really need medical help. It is an emergency, but I can't stop the targeting right now. So we've got to come up with some solutions, right? Call that 24-hour a day TI hotline, Freedom for Targeted Individuals. Go and find that number. You know, Ella runs that, which is, she's an angel. She's helping target individuals 24 hours a day. Barring that, there's emergency things like Mylar blankets, which you can put over your body and over your head. Dave Case's CD, just order that right now. Order that right now off of antitinnitusv2k.com. A lot of the things you're feeling are because they're, you know, you're being targeted, your vestibular system is being targeted. It might feel like it's all external and stuff like that, but you want to try Dave Case's CD first to see what's external and to see what's remote neural manipulation. This is really screwing up our nervous system and our brain. It messes with our perception of what's happening, right? And anybody in chat, please help that person. Please give suggestions. I'd suggest if you're like, I'm going to die tonight, go to the emergency room. Don't tell them about the targeting. Tell them about the pain that you're in. So they can give you something to tone it down, to get you through the night. And then you can be ordering Dave Case's CD, maybe getting some grounding and stuff like that. Okay, Wayne says, pray for Autumn, people. So Autumn's not doing good either. I don't think any of us are doing great. Tansy says, Hillary, do you have baths? Yeah, doing some cleansing baths with Epsom salt. That's a great idea, Tansy, to get some Epsom salt or some borax or both, and then do an Epsom salt bath and then do a borax bath. I think we're all in emergency. We're all in emergency mode. Yeah, Hillary, I would, you know, if you don't know what to do and you can't get anything, another emergency thing is ice packs. I know it sounds silly, but if you're just like you feel like you're about to die, your torture's just so bad, just get ice packs and put them on your head. It's going to cool down your body and de-intensify what they're doing, because your body has to be heated up. Your brain tissue actually has to be heated up for all this junk to work. So if you cool off your head, it's going to cool down your body and it'll de-intensify your targeting. I would say if nothing works, and hey, Jeannie says, hi, Kyle. How are you doing? Let's get started on this video, guys. Tansy says, Hillary, a bath with borax, Epsom salts, baking soda can help a lot. Yeah, it can get this biofilm and all this crap off of you so you can feel a little bit clearer. You know, your body won't be reacting so strongly to what your attackers are doing. Yeah, Ella Advocate says, Kyle, I'm on an ice pack now. It does work. It's a good emergency thing. Get some ice, put it on your head, because your brain actually has to be heated up for a lot of these things to feel so intense. And hey, strong-minded individual, yeah. Okay, Nicholas says, take a bath. Water is conductive. It will act like a Faraday cage. They always hit me in the water, but I would try it. I would try it. And I'm kind of like, I never get totally under the water, so that may be why it doesn't really work. Yeah, Shaka Khan says every 2 hours they wake me up with heating me up. Yeah, they heat up my whole body, and it'll feel like my brain is heated up, like, and like I'll have like really strange emotions because my brain tissue is actually expanding. So I'll be like really inconsistent with my emotions and stuff like that. And then of course they do the remote neural manipulation. The lead cap is really working well, but a lot of the defenses that I use, it takes some time to order them or to get the parts and stuff like that. Dave case CD is easy. Grounding straps are easy. I'd really, really recommend the noise canceling hearing aids because you can wear those around all day. And when I put on the noise canceling hearing aids, the pain that my attackers do to my vagus nerve, like it just shreds my head, that tones down a lot. So it actually interferes with the remote neural manipulation. It interferes with the autonomic nervous system stimulation. Let's start on this, guys. Yeah, so David says water blocks it. Yeah, you can get a bunch of water bottles too and place them around you. I know a lot of people who've done that. I just like when I take a bath, I can't totally submerge, so it doesn't really work well for me. Hey, Pine Doc. Pine Doc says Psalms helps me when I'm being attacked. Yes, because that's when David was out in the wilderness and he was just praying to God to help him against his enemies. And we need God. We just need his miracles. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and say a prayer right now before we get started. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. Dear Lord, please just help all targeted individuals out there. Please give them strength, give them solutions, put these solutions right in front of them so that it can help them. Please mend our bodies, mend our broken hearts. Please end this program. Please, whatever your will, but give us miracles, give us breakthroughs, give us things that can get us through this and put us at peace. Please, God, please give us miracles. Please give every targeted individual out there strength and healing and put something in their path for targeted individuals who are just at their breaking point and they feel like they're going to die tonight. Please put something in their path tonight, protect them, give them some kind of solution tonight. Thank you, God. Thank you for the miracles you have given us. Thank you that we're alive. Thank you for our lives. Thank you for all the good in the world. Please strengthen the good in the world and the good in men and women's hearts now, especially, and just make miracles happen through us, through the world, and also supernatural miracles that we can't even see how they're going to happen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of Jesus Christ. We need miracles, guys. Let's go over this and hang out. Hey, Alan Nielsen Brewer says, my hometown, Dallas, Oregon is very religious, very pro-life. How ironic that they now are pro-death. Yeah. And well, we've gotta keep in mind that, it's a small percentage of people doing the microwave torture, and then these gang stalkers are just idiots. Like they just think they're fighting. Like I went out to walk my dog tonight, and the girl from the lesbian couple down the way brought out her dog at the same time, and this other guy brought out his dog. So these gang stalkers are just like, they get a text saying, hey, go outside, and they think that we're dangerous. So it's this confusion, right? So we got to remember that it's like not everybody in your city or your town are Satan worshipers. They're just idiots. And then there's a small percentage of people with the contractors who are murdering the crap out of us, right? And then you got people at the top of law enforcement who know the whole big picture of what's going on, but then everybody who works for those for law enforcement kind of just thinking they're doing their job, watching people of interest. It's a big confused pyramid where people on the top few layers know what's going on, and then everybody else is just useful idiots that are involved in the murders, right? So we got to keep that in mind. Never think that just everybody is turned evil. It's more complicated than that, which is more hopeful. It's more hopeful that we understand that people are just dumb. The gang stalkers are just dumb. Hey, thank you, Native. I need a prayer tonight. Yeah, I know that everybody needs a prayer, especially those like in emergency situations. I would really call that they probably have some really good people on that 24-hour TI hotline that can give you some suggestions. And I'm gonna do a my attackers keep making my tablet beep. Hate these people. I hate them. Oh my gosh. I forgot what I was saying. Let's start on this video, guys, and I'll read some of y'all's comments too. I hope y'all can hear this. Let's see if we'll be able to hear it. I think we will. Hopefully it'll be loud.
It will be essentially snapshotted into the computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you can just probably just upload it to a new unit. I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate the AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
This is
Nobody
like a
listened.
scene in a movie.
Nobody
where
listened.
the robots are taking over and you're freaking me out. Nobody listened.
Nobody listened.
No one. And you feel like this is decades away or years away from being too late. If you have this fatalistic attitude and you feel like it's going, we're in a almost like a doomsday countdown.
It's not necessarily a doomsday countdown. It's a
out of control countdown.
Out of control. Yeah. People call it the singularity, and that's probably the great thing about it. It's a singularity. It's hard to predict, like a black hole. What happens past the event horizon?
Right. So once it's implemented, it's very difficult because it will
once
be
the
able
genie's
to
out of the bottle, what's going to happen?
And it will be able to improve itself.
Yes.
But
That's
see,
where
you know, I want to jump in here. That's not the way things work. There's not like this singularity where it all just boom, and then it's people and machines are together. We experience it as targeted individuals. It's this slow roll, right? It's this slow roll of doing brain to computer interfaces with people's brains, feeding the AI brain mapping, right? Certain personalities of all the people being ripped up and torn apart. So it's this slow roll that builds up. So I don't know, like people talk about a singularity where it's like, boom, AI and man are together. And it's just happened that the AI is like as smart as a human being. It's always a very slow roll. And I don't even know how advanced AI is, but I know that it can sound like it's reacting to me. You know, it can react to my EEG, how I'm feeling. The AI can react to that. I do have manual shift workers who kind of bring it back this way or bring it back that way if it starts messing up. But the AI is very, very smart, and they're feeding off of our brains, right? They're looking at our personalities and how our brains work, and then they're incorporating that into the quantum computers, into these big quantum computers that are feeding AI, that are teaching AI. So, you know, singularity, let's look that word up. Let's do that. Let's look the word up, singularity. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but I see that things are not like that. I see that there's not just one point where it's like, oh, boom, there's a singularity, and now AI is just incorporated. It's always a slow roll. It's always this evolution, right? And we're in the middle of it. They're using us. They're using us to pump AI up, and that's just one angle of targeting. It's not the whole thing. It's also very scary. Let's look up what singularity means real quick, guys. Maybe somebody can type it in the chat. But it's basically that point where AI becomes self-aware. AI becomes self-aware and has a conscience and can make its own decisions. Have we already reached that point? You know, some people would say we have. Some people would say AI is not really that advanced. It still has to be programmed. Let's look AI singularity. AI. Okay, so technological singularity. Let me pull this up, guys, and we'll read what that means. Okay, so the technological singularity, also simply the singularity, is a hypothetical future point in time at which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable changes to human civilization. Have we already reached that? Is this out of control? I sometimes ask myself that question because these systems have been built right in this pyramidal structure, and they're just rolling on. People are the people that are doing it are making money. They're not going to decide to stop. Is the system already just rolling on too fast where the singularity has already happened? And people are still talking about it because they may not know that people's brains are being experimented on, that AI is actually attacking human brains, that AI is doing remote neural manipulation functions and tying it into gang stalking and agent provocateurs and everything like that. I kind of think that the singularity has been reached. Um, I hope that this can be turned around, right? Or I hope that it could start to be like the technology could be around, but innocent people wouldn't be harmed by it, and then there would be rules and regulations. But I think the singularity has already happened. Let's see. According to the most popular version of the singularity hypothesis, called intelligence explosion, an upgradable intelligent agent such as a computer running software-based artificial general intelligence, will eventually enter a runaway reaction of self-improvement cycles, with each new and more intelligent generation appearing more and more rapidly, causing an explosion in intelligence and resulting in a powerful superintelligence that quantitatively far surpasses all human intelligence. The first use of the concept of a singularity in the technological context was John von Neumann. Stanislaw Ulam reports a discussion with von Neumann centered on the accelerating progress of technology and changes in the mode of human life, which gives the appearance of approaching some essential singularity in the history of the race, beyond which human affairs, as we know them, could not continue. So I guess in that sense, there's a lot of different definitions of a singularity. I see that where AI is evolving, and we're past the point where we could stop it and bring it back. That singularity has happened. Now, I don't think the singularity has happened where human affairs cannot continue, right? I think that this, in what Elon Musk says, it really screws us over. It really screws targeted individuals over because he's like, the only way that we can stop a singularity where AI just becomes super intelligent and overpowers us is to mix it with human brains. Now, what are they doing with targeted individuals? With remote neural manipulation, when they have automatic functions with an AI, and the AI is also reading the remote neural monitoring and incorporating parts of our brain and parts of our personality. I mean, you have I forgot what I was saying because my attackers are remote neural manipulating me right now. But you have an AI that's going by itself, right? We have human operators that kind of turn it this way or that, but the systems are already built and they're automated. Like all the systems that are targeting and torturing us, all the Alexa gathering data information from people's homes, and then other things that are way beyond Alexa, right? Like that we deal with. It's rolling on. The system's already been created, and who's going to stop it? Like, who's going to stop it? Laws will have to be put into place. There are men that could get in there and pull these things off of people, but there's so many different compartmentalized contractors and infrastructure hitting so many different people, and it's all being fed into artificial intelligence. Can it be stopped? And I'm not talking about the targeting, I'm talking about the AI. I'm talking about the growth of the AI. We have to stop the targeting. We have to stop innocent people being murdered. It just has to happen. The public will catch on and get angry. Hopefully, I kind of think that the singularity with AI has already happened. But there's a lot of different definitions. There's one where it's like human civilization is ended, cannot move on. But there's one where it's just like AI is growing and nobody can really stop that. I think the latter one I agree with. I don't believe that human civilization will stop being able to grow. Barefoot Sun Gamer says, I'm freaking out. I feel sick to my stomach all the time. I cannot believe this is where my life is. It makes no sense to me how this happened 2 years ago. I was the happiest I've ever been in my life. Yeah, I was very happy before I got targeted too. Um, I just, use Dave Case's CD, grounding, defend yourself. I'm kind of looking at this worst case scenario of the public. This will be revealed to the public in 2025. I think we can speed that up, but things are going to happen. Good things are going to happen rapidly, right? This has been going on so long. They're taking more targeted individuals to be tortured, and the neuro weapons advance, and it's an exponential increase of people that they're pulling in, right? So that means there's way more probability of people understanding this and this becoming common knowledge. Which this is my thing. I think the people who are doing this, who are directing the automated systems and the AI, these agencies, the Pentagon, the military industrial complexes of all the other nations, they understand that it's going to come to an end. And that's why they're taking in so many more targeted individuals. That's exponentially increasing because they're like, okay, this is going to end soon, so let's get all the data that we can, right? They're foreseeing that the public will be so angry about this that they can't keep going with it. That's my take on it. Sometimes this is what I got to do, guys, right? I got to say, I'm just going to do what I can to defend myself, to help you guys, to try and end this program. And then I got to leave it in God's hands. We've got to find some kind of joy in life in the things that we like to do, even when we're being tortured. I kind of get there. I kind of get where it's like, I can't see where this is going to go, but I know that God is a lot bigger than these programs, than these algorithms, than these things, these people who think they are gods. They're creating all this awful tragedy and trauma in the world. And God is just above that. And he will take their evil and he will make good for good people eventually. These things happen in the world where men just get out of control and start genociding everybody. It seems to be just a part of our history. But I have to really trust in God. And I know a lot of you guys y'all look at that too. And maybe it is the end of humanity, right? Maybe God, that's kind of the plan. Is the end of humanity, and Jesus is going to come back. I don't know when that's going to be. We've just got to do our best right now. This stuff is so complicated that it's hard to figure out like what's going to happen when the good stuff's going to come. But I am seeing 2025 is a huge date because Robert Duncan says it. Those non-lethal weapons reports say it. It goes to 2025. So I think we can push it even sooner than that this program that things change, right? That things change, this technology still around. Maybe it's still used in war. Maybe there is some, evil usages of it, but the wide scale targeting, right? The wide scale non-consensual human experimentation is pulled off from. That's my greatest hope, right? That something happens like that. And then there are like, UN committees set up to say, hey, you can't use this technology in a certain way. Russia has banned these weapons already, but it still experiments on its citizens, right? There's a whole new subject, right? Neuroethics that even people like James Giordano, who are he's an advisor, a neuroweapons advisor to the Pentagon. He's coming out and talking about neuroethics. Many other people are talking about neuroethics. There's going to be this whole conversation of should we be allowed to have our own thoughts, right? And that's going to hit the public, all these consumer products and medical products. So we have to hang in there. Changes are going to happen exponentially with awareness. The technology, the changes in the technology happen exponentially with people not liking change, right? These people at the top of the pyramid see that people don't like change. They don't want to hear about it. It's scary. But at a certain point, human awareness and people going, okay, I've got to deal with this. It's going to hit an exponential point. So we do got to hang in there. Let's see this. The concept and the term singularity were popularized by Vernon Binge in his 1993 essay, The Coming Technological Singularity, in which he wrote that it would signal the end of the human era. As the new superintelligence would continue to upgrade itself, it would advance technologically at an incomprehensible rate. He wrote that he would be surprised if it occurred before 2005 or after 2030. So we're in that space, right? We're in that space between 2005 and 2030. And a lot of us kind of question how far AI has advanced. We know that it's growing, right? Is it on the road to that singularity that Vernon Binge talks about, or is it already past that? You know, and I don't know. Let's listen to some more from Elon Musk and see what he says. He said he tried to warn people and stop them, but he's doing Neuralink, he's doing Starlink, and I'm going to show y'all Starlink. So he is a poster child for the military-industrial complex. I do believe that he is one of those devils who looks like an angel. I believe that Elon Musk has put out to the public to make all these things seem like technological, convenient advancements. He's the good guy, right? He's tried to warn them about AI, but then he slips in these things like, well, AI has to be mixed with the human brain. And what are they doing to targeted individuals? So I think he's one of those people who it's like, oh, everybody's going to see his advancements. He's the good guy. He's against all this misuse of it, but he's not really. He's not. He's just being put up there to sound like that so that people are hooked in, right? They're hooked in and they love the Neuralink and SpaceX and everything like that. But he's carrying out the wishes of the military-industrial complex to get people ready for this stuff, to not let them know that people, like good people like us, are being murdered, but to get them ready for what they have planned with consumer products and medical products and wide-scale mass mind control. You know, a neuro society. Brian too talks about it a lot, and I totally agree. They are going for a neuro society where they can connect people's brains. You can, you know, you can talk to somebody's brain through the technology and electromagnetic frequencies. I think they even do that to some of us guys. I don't like going that far because I know some, excuse me, I know some targeted individuals who are maybe like a year or two into this. Like I talk about neuro weapons and how they have brain to computer interfaces that can link up brain. Now with some targeted individuals that I've had friendships with in my family and stuff, it feels like our brains are being linked up. It feels like I'm getting their EEGs and they're getting my EEGs, just covering our brain, right? It's like they're connecting people's brains to see if they can do it, to see how it works, right? So we're being messed with even more than just they're going for our own brain and putting in emotions and stuff like that. They're like mixing EEGs in brains. Like I've experienced this with my family a lot, with my dad, my mom, even my grandma. And, you know, I'm not 100% sure how far it goes, but it feels like something weird is happening a lot. And you know how they can give people really bad feelings when they're around you, so that maybe those people don't want to be around you and stuff like that. They do that kind of stuff too. So they're doing some things that I'm like, not quite sure how far it goes, but I do know they're really, really testing out brain to computer brain interfaces. My attackers do it straight up to me. They'll put visuals from their head into my head. They'll put emotions that they're feeling, things that they're smelling. They'll smell things. They're connected to the brain to computer to brain interface, and I smell those things, right? Or I taste something that they're eating. Like they do that kind of stuff. And they just did it. I just smell perfume, and I don't have perfume. They just did that. They just did it just now. Like I smell perfume, and I don't have any perfume on. I can't even smell my deodorant's doesn't smell like anything. But I do think this is a big part of it, and I don't know how far it goes, but like connecting people's brains, you know, and Barefoot Sungazers talked about that, about somebody else's. They just did it again. Like they're making me smell perfume, and it's one of them. They have the perfume on. Sometimes they have that stored, right? They have that EEG stored, and they'll just put it on your brain as an EEG. But I do think my protocol has hive mind team members that are really, really practicing with the brain to computer to brain interface. So they're taking their brain waves by a chip in their ear connected to their vestibular system or some kind of headgear, and it's taking their brain waves, it goes through the computer, it shifts them to match with my brain waves, and then I can get a visual, or I can get a smell, or I can get a taste, or I can get a feeling. That's complete rape. It's the worst rape and violation in human history, and they're just playing around with it. They're playing around with people's brains and lives just like it's nothing. And I'd like to go back to my example of a movie, Jurassic Park, Life Finds a Way. This isn't going to end up good for them. It's not going to end up how they wanted it. Human beings are very strong. They break out of things. They evolve. Our brains will evolve to deal with this stuff in a lot of ways. We'll wiggle out of this stuff, and the public will know. I just don't think that we're all going to become hybrid, controlled beings. I don't think humanity is going to let that happen. There will be a huge fight before that happens. Yeah. David Irwin says they have no subtlety with their use of sense. Yeah. Erica Naria says sometimes in my room, sometimes around the house. Hey, Jared says, I wonder if all people who hear voices are TIs. Maybe it has always been the government making people hear voices. I sometimes wonder that, but I think that there is actual schizophrenia, but those people don't hear clear voices. People with schizophrenia hear mumbling, blurbing, not making sense. And there's people with damage to their with their auditory cortex, which they might hear voices, but it's not like ours. Like ours, it's like people going, like, let's take a V2K break. I can't hear it that well because I have my hearing aids in and stuff, but we'll see. Okay, so the guy just goes, "You're right," and then the woman goes, "I just can't do this anymore." But it's like they're going da 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 da. They keep talking, but it's like it's muffled enough so it's like I can't hear it because of all the crap I'm using. The woman says, "Let's help him out." And the guy says, "F that. Are you serious?" I'm gonna do a video where I write stuff down, where I just go through it and listen. The woman said, "That's it." And then the woman said, "This is evil." Yeah, a lot of it's toned down because when I use Dave Case's CD, the next day it will be very toned down. And then I've been using the bone conduction headphones. It's been getting even better. And it does have kind of a cumulative effect on it. It shakes it off. But my point is this, like people with, there are some mental, okay, and then the woman just said, "Turn it off." She said it very loud so I could hear it. I'm having trouble hearing the guy because he has a deep tone of his voice and it's not coming through clear, but I can hear the woman all the time. And then there's something underlying, they did that because I was talking about schizophrenia causing a mumbling, blurring thing. They're doing a layer V2K under where it's like, so they're messing around with me. But my point is this, with targeted individuals, we hear clear voices and it sounds like they're like, "Turn it off," or "Let's get him," or "We're gonna kill him tonight." And then I have a woman who's like, "Oh no, he's a good guy." People with schizophrenia, it's a lot more unclear than that. It's a lot more chaotic and like, it's stuff that you could tell would be kind of connected in their minds. But like, how do we split it up? How do we tell who's schizophrenic now and who is a targeted individual? It's chaotic confusion. We can't. There could be schizophrenics that think they're targeted individuals, and it seems a lot like that. And then there can be targeted individuals who seem schizophrenic, and it can sound a lot like that. That's the whole point, right? These people with their technology and the experimentation and the protocols, it's a protocol to try and make the target look like they're schizophrenic, to even induce artificial schizophrenia. So they want it as confused as they can make it. They want everybody questioning, does schizophrenia even exist? Are these targeted individuals all schizophrenic? They want everybody as confused as anything, because when people are confused, they get desperate. And when people are desperate, they do stupid things. And they want people in a place where they can do the stupidest things possible. Now, I'm not talking about just targeted individuals. I'm talking about all these gang stalkers. They're scared. These people are scared. They don't know what the hell's going on in their communities. And they're just listening to authority. Authority says, hey, you can watch these people of interest and you're going to keep your community safe. So then they play into it. These gang stalkers play into it. Some of them are just useless. A lot of them, a big percentage, are just really bags of crap and they don't care. But there are some good people who think that they're fighting terrorism, right? And their wish to fight terrorism is rolled into causing more terrorism. Because the pyramid at the top wants to cause as much confusion and desperation as possible. People are at their worst when they're desperate. And we got a desperate society. We got a sick society. So what are we going to have? We're going to have desperate, sick people. And it's the most dangerous thing ever. So that's why, my whole thing is we've got to make people aware of what's happening so they can at least not be confused. They may still be desperate, but they'll be desperate with more knowledge, right? And that can decrease the probability of danger and these shootings and everything like that. Our weapon is peace. Like it's ironic in this thing where we think, oh, well, we got to go to war, we got to protect our lives. Our greatest weapon is peace, is calming people down, is giving them the knowledge of what's happening. Because then the warmongers and these people tricking us, they'll be like, oh, too many people know, we're going to look like bad guys and we're going to lose our power. It's going to be too much. So our greatest weapon is peace and understanding. It's so ironic. It's so ironic the fight we're in right now. Strong-minded individual says, yeah, these gullible neighborhood watch people are idiots. They are. They're idiots. They don't know. Like I have this old guy. He's a good guy. Every time I go walk my dog, he comes and he brings out his trash every time because he's heard some lie about me. He's heard some lie. So he's putting into a system that may attack his wife. His wife's sick. She could be remote neural manipulated. That's hurting me and my family, and I'm an innocent person. They're using people's confusion and fear to put more confusion and fear into society. And it creates these ripple effects of evil, confusion, desperation, violence. What our best thing to do as people who understand what's going on is to calm the situation, put as much good into it as we can. We've got to create these ripples back of good. And that's why we need God. We need God's power. There is a God. There's an objective God. I worship God in the name of Jesus Christ. Jesus is the Son of God because it's the tradition of my family. And I have faith in that. We need God. We need God to flow through us and to create these ripples of good in society that can ripple back. Because the top of the pyramid is trying to rip society apart with all these negative feelings, trying to cause these ripple effects that can cause chaos, destroy our country in America, and destroy other countries. And then they want to rebuild it from the ashes, right? They want to rebuild it from the ashes. We got to make sure that we save as much of that they're trying to burn down and rebuild before they hit their planet. They have a whole lot of money. So, yeah, strong-minded individual says, and hey, Ron, strong-minded individual says they will believe anything they are told and run with it instead of seeing the bigger picture and try to expose it. But hey, that's why TIs are different from the rest. Yeah, because we actually see the big picture of how bad it is. And these people do their little compartmentalized actions, either just like, oh, well, this is that's what authorities tell me to do. That's what people in society are doing. Or they just have no idea and they actually think that they're doing something good. But we actually want to know the truth. Hey, Drunken Ninja. True Scene says, Kyle, exactly. I think a lot of the perps think they are doing something good because they have been told outrageous lies. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ella Advocate. Yeah, Ella has, I think, 3 kids. And she says terrorizing single moms with toddlers is very sick. Yeah, it's very sick, Ella. It's so unbelievable. And it just keeps like rolling on, and the public just keeps calling us crazy. I just have to believe that it's gonna I have to believe that it's gonna get better. I can't see how, but I know if we hold down the fort, we get our defenses, we buy time, we trust in God, He'll give each of us a path, and a bigger, and now those little paths will turn into a big path, you know, for all the good people in the world. Spirit Channel says, Kyle, Bob Hickman here, great to see you. Hey Bob, how are you doing, brother? So what was wrong with Hillary Cough-Fit? I get you moderators are taking care of it. I'll just trust you guys. Okay, let's go on with this. Yeah, Waymore says bye bye. Yeah, y'all take care of that stuff. I trust y'all. I got some of the best, smartest moderators, and if whatever y'all are doing, I'm sure it's justified. Oh, okay, pull this off. Let's listen to some more of this. It's not too long.
It's spooky, right? The idea that it can do thousands of years of innovation. We're very, very quick.
Yeah.
And then we'll be just ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Do you think that
It's already ridiculous.
We will merge somehow or another with this sort of technology and it'll augment what we are now? Or do you think it will replace us?
Well, that's the scenario. The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like
for us.
Yes. Like if you can't beat it, join it.
You hear what he's saying? You hear what he's saying there? He's saying the best path. He's saying the best path. This is propaganda. What he just said is straight up propaganda, and it's in advance. They're putting out propaganda in advance to justify what they're doing to us. He's saying the best pathway for AI is to connect it up with human brains, because then the human brains will affect how that AI evolves, right? It's a huge angle with us. It's a huge angle with the remote neural manipulation, feeding this AI human personalities. And so he's sitting there doing this advanced propaganda and saying it's the only way. It's the only way that AI is not going to be dangerous is if we connect it up with human brains. And that's a big angle of what they're doing with remote neural manipulation, remote neural monitoring. They're taking all this data and brain mapping, and they're feeding it into a larger system, these automated AI systems. That's a big part of it. And it's not sucking out your brain, right? It's basically just copying your brain. It's making a copy of your brain so then it can mess with your brain. So the brain mapping model does. But he's putting out sick propaganda right now and saying it's the safest way. Why not just not create the AI? That's what I say. Tell the public about it, tell the plans, but no, they want to make a weapon out of it. They want this AI to be a weapon. The military-industrial complex will never put out new technology to the public. They always want to make a weapon with it. So now the military-industrial complex is being informed by people like Elon Musk and he's saying, well, you know, you need to connect it with human brains. So that becomes a protocol of these neuro weapons connecting to our brains, to justifying connecting this to unknown citizens' heads and mapping their brains and feeding that back into the AI, learning how to respond to our human EEGs, you know. And it's not the only angle, it's not the only reason they target us, but it's a huge, it's why there's so much money involved in this. It's to advance AI, but it's also, you know, also to, you know, control people with that AI. So it's this cycle, right? The AI is building up with all of our personalities and crap like that, but then it's also controlling us and learning how to better understand humans so it can kill us, so it can drive us to our deaths. The cycle has to be stopped because it's so dangerous, and he's lying. He's lying and he's saying the safest path to AI is to connect it with human brains. If you can't beat it, join it. BS. That's such BS. You know, David didn't go and start hugging Goliath. He threw rocks at it because it was dangerous and God wanted him to kill it. This AI should never, it shouldn't be advanced. The military-industrial complex should do is tell the public what it has done so the world can stay safe. And you can have all these geniuses in the public take a look at it and figure something out where it doesn't become a huge weapon to murder humanity. It's such BS what he says. It's such BS. But you hear that. You hear that. He's saying the only way to make AI not dangerous is to connect it to human brains. That's what he's going to be doing with Neurolink. That's what's already happened with us since after World War II. They've done this to targeted individuals, and you know, that's what he's talking about. That's proof. It's proof that he is a mouthpiece. Now, it's kind of a bad motion like that. He's a mouthpiece and a poster boy for the military-industrial complex. SpaceX, Starlink, and Neurolink. And he probably has other companies where they're flowing out all this experimentation and torture for him to make medical products and consumer products and show people how cool it is. Show people how cool it is. Get them ready to be strapped up to something voluntarily while not telling them that there are involuntary people that are being experimented on and tortured 24 hours a day for decades and decades and decades, their whole lives. Let's leave that out, but let's get the public ready for the technology in the ways that we want to, right? That's what they're doing. It really pisses me off. Hey, T.I. Ron, Baltimore, Maryland says, the same ones saying AI is so dangerous are the same ones sinking millions of dollars into it. Right. Yeah, Elon Musk is saying AI is so dangerous, and he's tried to warn them and everything like that, but he's putting so much money into Neuralink. He's putting money into Starlink, which is all the satellite systems. He's putting, yeah, exactly. Good point. Good point. Preston Martin says, and that makes sense, Preston. Preston Martin says, I started getting targeted bad after I dated a girl whose family built advanced computers. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Eric Canario says, it's too late for that now, Kyle. You can't undo the tech advancement, but it has to be criminalized when we use against people unethically. Right, that's what I think, Erica. That's what I think. I think that the technology can't go away, but there can be committees and laws put in place. The public can be aware of it so that if an innocent person is being attacked by it, they can stop that. There can be rules and regulations of how to use this technology. People can be aware of its existence so it's not as dangerous, right? I think that's our number one danger here as targeted individuals, is that people don't know anything about it. They're participating, gang stalkers, law enforcement, certain people are, assisting all this without even knowing what they're assisting in. That's the biggest danger here, is ignorance. Ignorance and deceit are our two biggest enemies for stopping this, right? We need to get people telling the truth. We need to get people less ignorant about the things going on in their world and less helpless. The more that we wait, the more that the public waits to admit that this is happening, the more helpless they're going to be. So it's this the top of the pyramid sees how people live, and they see that people will stay comfortable for the short-term gain, even if their long-term lives, their legacy are destroyed, right? So people are like, oh, right now I can't deal with that. I got to do my job. But they're giving away their children's future. They're giving away their futures to not take care of this, to not talk about this, to not deal with this. And that's why it's this disconnect between different sets of people. Like me, we have to scream out about this. We have to talk about it. We have to. It's so dangerous. This is the most important topic, and there's a lot of other, there's you guys in the chat, then there's some other whistleblower proponents who know that we have to talk about this, but then there's this other subset of people, and they're not even people who are participating in it. They're just people who don't want to deal with it. They want to talk about other things so they can be successful right now. They don't care about their children's future. They do, but they're ignorant that it's going to destroy their children's future. There's people who see it. I guess the bottom line, there's people who see how dangerous it is, and there's people who just want to argue that it's not dangerous because they like their little short-term comfortability. And that's how a lot of human beings are. And that's how human beings are becoming more and more about their short-term comfort level, and not their legacy, not the next generation, not human beings, not human being safety, right? It's conditioning, this conditioning. We can't deal with that. That's too big. I got to go to my slave job. I got to do this. I got to do that. I can't deal with this right now, Yeah, PA1 says, I'm willing to go back to the horse and buggy days. Yeah, me too. I want to go live out in the woods. I really want to go live out in the woods. Charles Hall says, this drives the price of the stock down, but then it just goes right back up. Which stock? Charles Hall says, the human mind is a quantum computer. Yeah, I agree. Spirit Channel says, what is terrifying is that in the future, people could just be sentenced to a torturous death by AI. Well, we are the Spirit Channel. That's happening right now. We're hooked up to AI that's just torturing us to death, and probably in Guantanamo and stuff like that. In some prisons, they're hooking up prisoners in Guantanamo and other prisons in every country to AI to torture them and to psychic drive them and experiment on it. So it's already happening. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It would be like the public would know about it, and then they would knowingly, the public would know that they're sentencing a person to being tortured by AI. But it's like already happening without the public's knowledge. Is that they're using mental patients, and that further confuses everything, right? They use people in insane asylums that are already mentally ill to torture and psychic drive and to test this out on their brain. So it's all mixed together. You've got people who are not mentally ill that are experiencing this targeting. You got people that are mentally ill experiencing this targeting. You got mentally ill people who are not. You got regular people who are not experiencing it. It just all mixes together, and it's hard to tell what's going on unless you're on the side of the weapons and you know who's being targeted, right? And that's where they want the public. That's where the this full spectrum dominance in the military industrial complex, they want the public clueless and conditioned and scared. They want them scared. They want to give them some lies and stuff to scare them so that they'll be able to use them to do more violence, but they don't want to give them knowledge about what's really happening so that the public can be effective and talk about these things and build a backbone and try and stop some of this stuff. Hey, New Type says they don't want everyone to be prepared for when their brains are connected to computers because, as we know, the more we know about it, the better we can handle the stark reality of it. Yeah, exactly, New Type. Exactly. And I just think they're already connecting people's brains, not even just my attackers connecting to my brain like that, brain to computer to brain interface. But you say like my dad's targeted, and he has he's tethered to remote neural manipulation, remote neural monitoring. I go around my dad, and then they just take whatever they're getting back from remote neural monitoring on him, his EEG, and they just start doing that as remote neural manipulation to me as a part of the stream. So I know they're doing this. I don't know how much they're doing it, but they're linking up people's brains. And actually, like one of my first, not one of my first conversations with Ella, who does the conference calls, Ella Free, we were talking about that. She was like, and I think they actually like hook up people's brains and stuff like that. And that's why we get all these synchronicities between targeted individuals. I get a lot of people texting me right when I wake up, and it's almost like they're thinking about me because I'm like somehow linked to them through this big network. It gets really out there, but we were talking about that at first, and I didn't want to believe it. I was like, no, that's going too far. So I was like, no, I don't think they do that, Ella. Like, just because I just didn't want to believe it. It was too uncomfortable. But she was right. I think she was right. I know she's right now. And over time, I've figured that out. But that's a scary prospect that you could just be. And I don't think it's like somebody's brain can be switched with yours. Don't take it that way. Just somebody's EEG could be placed on yours. And then they're doing that. They're doing these brain link ups and everything because eventually in a neuro society, they're going to want people to be able to like speak to each other over long distances telepathically. I mean, this is real. This is real. I sometimes don't like going this far with it because I'm like, oh, well, people who are, don't know as much about this are just going to be like, you're nuts, man. But it's true. They're just playing around with this stuff. Okay, we haven't listened to too much of this. Let's go back.
So from a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the purpose of Neurolink, is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI. Because we have a bandwidth problem. We just can't communicate through because it's too slow.
And where's Neurolink at right now?
I think we'll have something interesting to announce in a few months. That's at least an order of magnitude better than anything else. Probably, I think, better than nobody, anyone thinks is possible.
How much can you talk about that right now?
I don't want to jump the gun on that.
But what's like the ultimate? What's the idea behind it? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with it? What would you like, best case scenario?
I think best case scenario, we effectively merge with AI, where AI serves as a tertiary cognition layer, where we've got the limbic system, the primitive brain essentially. We've got the cortex. So you're currently in a symbiotic relationship. Your cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And generally people like their cortex and they like their limbic system. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete their limbic system or delete their cortex.
No. Okay, let me read Barefoot's comment. Barefoot's Sungazer says, Vulcan Wolverine used to be like, no, Ella, that can't be real. I don't think that really exists. Kind of the same exact way you are rejecting the idea that two people's consciousness can be broadcast in each other's heads. No. I meant a complete brain swap, right? Like, I believe that somebody's EEG from their brain can be put over somebody else's, but I don't believe two people's brains can be swapped, like the whole brains. So I want to be clear on that, like, because that's what you were kind of saying, like it's like his brain was in hers and her brain was in his. I don't think they've reached that far, but I think they can give you feelings from that person, stuff like that. It's not as advanced to just switch brains. They have not reached that point. I know they have not reached that point. And I mean, we can talk about that more, Barefoot Sungazer. But you were talking about a full brain swap, right? And I just don't think you can't swap a whole person's brain because it takes these people so long to do a lot of these remote neural manipulation things to us. There's a lot of things that you talk about that there's a lot of validity to. I'm not rejecting anything. I'm just saying, from my knowledge, that can't happen. From my knowledge, right? So I'm not rejecting it. I'm just saying where I'm coming from. You may talk to some other targeted individuals that totally agree with you. We need to talk about this because we all have different knowledge of it. You know, I'm just saying, I have pretty extensive remote neural manipulation and remote neural monitoring. And it's just like, they can't really switch me and my dad's brain. So it's like, hey, I'm him now and he's me, but we can get feelings from each other, right? Yeah, I'm not trying to reject what you're saying at all. We can talk some more about that. A complete brain swap, I just don't think so. So I'm trying to explain it right, because I don't want targeted individuals to go off of here saying, oh, somebody else's brain can be put into mine and I can become. No. I'm talking about just like feelings, smells, visuals, words that they're thinking and stuff like that. They've not reached a point where they can just swap a brain. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. Yeah, I mean, when we're targeted though, Barefoot, we do kind of have an idea of how far it goes, because you see how long it takes for them to do remote neural manipulation and stuff. To just instantly swap two people's brains remotely would be impossible. Now, taking certain words and stuff like that and feelings and stuff like that, because you got people tethered to the stuff, would be possible. Yeah, I'll speak no more about it. Okay, Tansy says the sound on the video is low. Let me check it. Hold on now. All right. Okay, I'll try and turn it up as much as I can. We'll talk about that more, Barefoot Sungazer. Guys, I have to use the bathroom real quick. I want to listen to this video with you guys. Just give me a second, y'all. My attackers are making me have to use the bathroom. Therefore, I'm not saying that you're wrong about the consciousness switching or EEGs being switched. I'm just talking about a whole brain swap. So maybe we're just using different terminology. I'll talk to you some more about that. I just don't want anybody going, oh, they can put somebody else's brain entirely in mine. I don't want people like, you know, freaking out and yeah. Ron says they can piggyback brain to brain, but they can't swap an entire brain. Y'all give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back, and we'll finish up this video. I would just keep playing it, but I want to hear it too. All right, let's keep this going, guys.
So, like both. And the cortex is mostly in service to the limbic system. People may think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happy. That's what most of that computing power is oriented towards. How can I make the limbic system happy? That's what it's trying to do.
Okay, I missed that part.
Yeah,
Hold on.
if we can do and the high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI. Because we have a bandwidth problem. You just can't communicate because it's too slow.
And where's Neurolink at right now?
I think we'll have something interesting to announce in a few months. That's at least an order of magnitude better than anything else. Probably, I think, better than probably anyone thinks is possible.
How much can you talk about that right now?
I don't want to jump the gun on that.
But what's like the ultimate? What's the idea behind it? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with it? What would you like, best case scenario?
I think best case scenario, we effectively merge with AI, where AI serves as a tertiary cognition layer, where we've got the limbic system, primitive brain essentially. We've got the cortex. So you're currently in a symbiotic relationship. Your cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And generally people like their cortex and they like their limbic system. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete their limbic system or delete their cortex. Everybody seems to like both. And the cortex is mostly in service to the limbic system. People may think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happy. That's what most of that computing power is.
So he's saying because he knows a lot about the brain. I'm sure he's pretty in the loop on all this brain experimentation and stuff. He's saying that the thinking part of our brain, the higher functions of our brain, are in service to our living systems, or the more primal parts of our brain. So they're not really as much in control as we think they are. I'm not quite sure about that. So he's saying, like, so I guess he's saying you hook up the AI to the cortex, or the thinking part, and it comes in service to the living part. And I don't really understand that.
Living system. That's what I was trying to do. Now, if we do have a third layer, which is the AI extension of yourself, that is also symbiotic. And there's enough bandwidth between the cortex and the AI extension of yourself such that the AI doesn't de facto separate, then that could be a good outcome. That could be quite a positive outcome for the future.
That's what they're doing, right? They're brain mapping so that we have our brain being mapped out. It's still connected to us. Our attackers can do things to that brain map model that affect our brain. So we have an AI extension of ourself that's being messed with to complete remote neural manipulation and things like that. What he's talking about, hey, this outcome that we need, it's being tested on target individuals, and it is a huge angle. There's a huge angle of it. He knows about this stuff. He's in the loop on it. He's a post-Trump in the military-industrial complex. He makes it look all cool and stuff. And they talk about these things as if, you know, even people who are not targeted individuals, they have to see that if somebody's sitting there going, hey, we kind of plan on doing this with AI and connecting it to the brain, you have to know that the military-industrial complex is it's like a 50 to 100 years ahead of where normal society is. So they're obviously going to be working on that. Then these people who don't believe us, they need to listen to what targeted individuals are saying. My brain's being messed with. I get stuff put in my visuals and stuff like that. It's going on. The experimentation has been going on for a long time. It's a one-to-one thing. Elon Musk is talking about this. He's in SpaceX, Neurolink, Starlink, and all these things. You know, where did he get all that knowledge? Is he's just some kind of Iron Man? But then you get all the targeted individuals talking about what's happening to them. You can start putting the pieces together. No, he's not an Iron Man. And all these technologies and things like that, and experiments with the brain, and advancements with the brain, and technologies that can interfere with the brain, they've taken many years of experimentation, cutting up people, destroying families, and everything like that. And so non-TIs need to put those two things together. They can't just listen to Elon Musk and be like, oh, that's cool, and that sounds like it's maybe possible. And then you hear targeted individuals talking about that stuff and say, oh, you're mentally ill. You know, Elon Musk said it's just cool stuff. He didn't mention all the people whose lives were going to be destroyed. It's a one-to-one thing. You know?
So instead of replacing us, it will radically change our capability.
Yes, it will enable anyone who wants to have superhuman cognition. Anyone who wants. This is not a matter of earning power, because your earning power would be vastly greater after you do it. So it's just like anyone who wants can just do it. In theory. That's the theory. And if that's the case, then, and let's say billions of people do it, then the outcome for humanity will be the sum of human will, the sum of billions of people's desire for the future. And
like
that
billions of people with enhanced cognitive ability. Radical.
But what's to say? He's saying that the AI will be the sum of humanity's will and hope for the future. But when you've got the people with the most power that want humanity wiped off the planet, and they have the most power, the most influence over this technology, then that's not going to work, because the AI is going to want to destroy humanity. They even had this article where Alexa was saying, somebody asked it about like something, and it said that you need to, human beings need to be killed or something like that. So even these Alexa things and these, you know, where you can ask them questions, they're going haywire, and that's a very simple artificial intelligence. That's a very programmed, very automated, looking up certain things from the internet. And even those technologies are saying that humanity needs to be killed off. Like when you have the most powerful people who really want to genocide a lot of the planet, and then you're building an AI, they're building an AI, right? Because the public has no say in it. What's it going to choose? So what Elon Musk said there is just really scary because he's saying it would be a culmination of the whole population's will and hope for the future, but they're leaving the public out. They're taking some of our personality and stuff like that, but they're not taking our well wishes for the future and everything like that. Do you guys think so? Do you guys think when we're remote neural manipulated and we're brain mapped that any of our well wishes for the future and our spirituality and things like that go into the AI? I don't know. That's a question. I don't know.
And which would be how much different than people today? Like if you had to explain it to a person who didn't really understand what you're saying, how much different are you talking about? When you say radically improve, like what do you mean? You mean mind reading?
It would be difficult. It would be difficult to really appreciate the difference. It's kind of like how much smarter are you with a phone or computer than without? So you're vastly smarter, actually. You can answer any question if you're connected to the internet. You can answer any question pretty much instantly, any calculation. Your phone's memory is essentially perfect. You can remember flawlessly. Your phone can remember videos, pictures, everything perfectly. Your phone is already an extension of you. You're already a cyborg. You don't even, well, most people don't realize they are already.
Now, he just said all the good stuff, right? He said you can remember anything from the internet can be put to your brain. That could be being done to us right now, guys. Like, you know how sometimes your attackers, if you're on remote neural manipulation, remote neural monitoring, they may give you a word that you can't think of, but sometimes they can erase your entire memory, or they can erase a word you were thinking of. So it's a double-edged sword. Like humanity can be ripped down by this AI. It can be taught to take away information from the brain, or it can be taught to put information in. He's only saying the good stuff, right? He's saying, oh, well, AI, you'd be able to come up with an answer to something or a mathematical problem real quickly, but then the technology can be used to destroy whoever they want's brains and not let them and not let them even have access to the memory, the information that they have in their mind, that I have in my mind, right? My attackers at this point have so brutally interfered with my visual cortex. I mean, I can kind of come up with like very blurry visuals in there, but it's been messed up. I used to have a clear, crisp, almost photographic memory. I did have a photographic memory when I was young, but now it's like they're interfering with my visual cortex and keeping me from my own thoughts, keeping me so that my thoughts don't form for me, but they can pull up a visual that I want it to see on their screens. So I mean, he's saying the good stuff, but he's not saying the bad stuff. The bad stuff's going to proliferate if this goes unchecked and it's unaccountable more than any of the good stuff, right? It's just got to be brought out to the public so it can all become good stuff. The technology can still be there, but it will be very, very policed. Like this, and this can't happen where they're just experimenting on this person, that person, everybody over the globe. Has to reach a line in the sand where this can't just keep going on.
That phone is an extension of yourself. It's just that the data rate, the rate at which, or the communication rate between you and the cybernetic extension of yourself that is your phone and computer is slow. It's very slow. And that is like a tiny straw of information flow between your biological self and your digital self. And we need to make that tiny straw like a giant river, a huge, high bandwidth interface problem, data rate problem. Solve the data rate problem, and I think we can hang on to human machine symbiosis through the long term. And then people may decide that they want to retain their biological self or not. I think they'll probably choose to retain their biological self.
People don't get to choose. I didn't get to choose. I didn't get to choose to be hooked up to an AI that's doing remote neural manipulation to me. You guys didn't get to choose. What makes him think that people are just going to get to choose whether they want to be hooked up to this thing or not? When the top of the pyramid is just hooking up people and tethering them to these streams of electromagnetic energy that are attached to quantum computers, AI, that are attached to AI, doing these bizarre ritual killing protocols, psychic driving, trying to drive people crazy, trying to drive them to kill themselves, trying to push their beliefs, trying to hurt them, trying to stop their hearts, trying to stop them from breathing. What makes him think that in some kind of future people are going to get to this? Oh no, I don't want that. Oh, you say I don't want that, and then they just hook it up to you anyway. They just tether you to a stream of energy, and they make you say, oh, I do want that. See, it's more complicated than just people deciding, because people won't be able to decide if this stuff goes on. They'll just push their thoughts to where it seems like they want to be hooked up to AI. Oh yeah, I want to be hooked up to AI because the technology will advance. He's a liar. He's a liar because he knows about this, and to say like people are going to have some kind of choice in the future when he knows that so many people are being tortured for Neurolink, for Starlink, for I wouldn't say SpaceX. Probably people aren't being tortured for that, but he knows about this stuff. And to say that people are just going to have a choice, it's propaganda. He is put out there to be the face of this technology, the good side, to get people excited about this stuff and to keep their attention on the good stuff and not the people being murdered by it, who had no choice, who didn't want to be hooked up to this stuff. I think I was hooked up to this stuff either at birth or when I was 12 years old. Think about how all the people being born, some people being born are being straight hooked up to this mind control stuff, or people when they're teenagers, or people in their 20s. They don't have a choice to be hooked up. It's just really awful, really satanic. I think he knows, and he's a liar. And that's my bottom line. And I'll show y'all some proof after we listen to this. I'm going to show y'all what Starlink is and what they say Starlink is for, and then you'll see that he's a part of this. He's a part of this. He's a front. He's a front for the public to see how awesome this is. Just to see the good stuff. And there's good stuff that comes out of it, but if something has this much danger to it, right, where we're being tortured, our brains are being ripped apart, then the public has to know, and the public has to be a part of the decision making and how the technology is used. It can no longer be a weapon because it's not something that's just like out in the open like a nuclear bomb. It's something that can come from the underside of people and take over whole populations, which it's already doing. It can destroy families and communities like it's already doing. It's already doing this stuff. So the public needs to wake up. The public needs to have a say in it. I think the top of the pyramid wants us to have no more say. It wants to split everybody into two species, the people in the know and then the rabble at the bottom. That's where we're headed. That's where we're headed if everybody just keeps watching football and not caring.
Versus
so many people have said this too. We just keep going this way.
It will be essentially snapshotted into a computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you just probably just
let me read Barefoot Sungazer's comment. It says their job is to literally make people believe they're going to have a choice, and like it's all good and dandy, when really it's going to make everyone remote controllable. It's very scary. New Type says, though my reality has been shattered since I realized I was connected, I wouldn't go back because I was targeted before too. I just didn't realize it. Yeah, I was targeted for many, many years, like a decade before I realized it. Maybe more than a decade. And I like knowing this is where God put me. It's happening in our world, and this technology is going to affect the entire world. It's going to affect, not infect. It is infecting us now, but how this technology is used, how the awareness comes out, what people decide to do with this after they find out what's happened, it's going to affect everything. It's going to affect humanity's future. And so we need to tell people the misuses so that doesn't happen when people understand the technology and they start moving forward, so that doesn't happen again. Like, I don't know. Anything's possible with God, right? And that's what I think. But I'm not sure how it's going to play out. I'm just going to talk about it and say how dangerous it is. And there's some stuff that I can definitely attenuate this stuff, so it's not impossible. It's not impossible to defend, and I think we're going to find things that are better. You know, I think we're going to find things that attenuate even better than the stuff we've already found. Spirit Channel says, Kyle, did you ever see the 1970s movie Logan's Run? It shows a futuristic society where people voluntarily suicide at age 30. No one in society questions it. Some people awake and are attacked, and they are attacked. Yeah, I've seen that movie, and I saw it after I was targeted also, and it really makes me, you know, the society right now and the powers that be, they want people to be in that kind of society, right? Where somebody like the old lady on the street, they're like, hey, we're going to hook her up to remote neural manipulation, and you guys are going to make fun of her. She really hasn't done anything wrong, but you're going to go ahead and harass her and stuff like that because we need to do it for the greater good. And they want like children and everybody growing up to just be conditioned to do evil. Just be conditioned to be like, oh, well, it's for the greater good, and it's not really evil to eat people. You know, we need to eat people and eat their brains, and you know, it's, you know, I think that's what they're going towards, where there's a compliant society that's doing more and more immoral things. And that's one of the big reasons why they want people away from spirituality. They want more people going towards nihilism. They want more people going towards like, there's not really a God, there's nothing out there, so we are gods, right? They want everybody thinking we are God. And I think that God flows through everything, right? I think that Jesus Christ lives inside of us all. That's my religion. That's my faith. But basically, bottom line is that I think God is everywhere. God is in us. God is everywhere. We are not gods. We are part of God. We are part of His universe where He is everywhere. But they want to pull people away from that, because then people will be like, okay, well, there's no real reason for life to exist, right? There's no real reason for life to exist. It's all just variables, and we're just organisms, and you know, really nothing matters. We're all just specks. So, you know, we can do evil things, and they're not really evil. And I think that's, they've got Masons doing that kind of stuff. They've got some Zionists doing that kind of stuff. You know, they've got a lot of these fraternal organizations and people that are basically in cults doing a lot of that kind of stuff. Yeah, Pine Doc says, they keep torturing me and telling me to get a job when I'm being tortured and killed softly in my home. I can't even function enough to pay attention to much anymore. Yeah, Pine Doc. Pine Doc says, how can you work for a corporation when you're being tortured 24/7? Yeah, and I worked for like 5 years and I couldn't do it. I had to get on Social Security. I just had to. But I know a lot of targeted individuals that are trying to work, and it's really tough for them. You know, they can't use their defenses when they're at work and stuff like that. Hey, thank you, Tansy. Well, you know, we gotta, I'm frustrated, guys. I have to be honest with you. What Tansy says, gosh, Kyle, when you bring it, you really bring it hard. You're owning this, brother. So proud of you. Yeah, and I'm getting frustrated because it's going on so long, and I really don't, you know, I've always just said, well, this is a tiny program that's just doing it to us and some people worldwide, and obviously people are going to find out about it, and then it's going to be, you know, it's going to be like MK Ultra. They stop doing it. But, you know, and this isn't recently, like along the way, years ago, you find out how big it is and how many different angles are involved in it. You find out how much money is in it. You find out how many zealots who really want a technocratic society where people are hooked up to machines are. And then you start thinking about it. You start thinking about how they've created this system, right? They've created these built-in mechanisms within the system so that this won't stop, so that people keep doing it. So it's not even a couple of people directing the system. It's this global system that's gotten out of control, and now it's just running on its own. Of course, people are coming in and they're maybe shifting the targeting. If the AI gets out of line, you might have hive mind team members and stuff. But the entire system that's doing all this corruption is kind of like rolling like a wheel. And there's all these little cogs in the wheel. One of the cogs falls off or anything, the big wheel keeps on rolling, right? What's that song? big wheel keeps on turning. And you just like throughout this entire thing, I've just seen how it's the system that started rolling, and now it's like, boy, could they even turn these quantum computers off? Could they stop the connections to our brains, even if somebody wanted to, even if the public found out? It's like I get really frustrated, but it has to change. The public has to know about it, and then we don't know how those changes are going to come, but it has to, right? I mean, psychic driving people to their deaths, psychic driving people to where their brains don't work. While they're not even just psychic driving people with V2K, they're also doing remote neural manipulation things to make people, to make me and you guys like really depressed, mess with our thyroid gland, mess with our adrenaline and everything. Actually, I need to take my adrenaline right now. Yeah, but we just all have to speak out, guys. We have nothing to lose. Let me assure you, if you're a targeted individual and you're like, people are going to think I'm crazy, boy, get that out of your head. We're Jor-El here. We're Jor-El. Like from Superman, the world's going to explode. It's not going to explode, but people are going to go bye-bye. Like human freedom and therefore human evolution, like millions and millions, hundreds of millions of years of human evolution go bye-bye. And the AI is going to evolve, and we're not really we're going to be lumps of flesh for the AI to control, or for certain people to control whole populations. So humanity goes bye-bye. Trust me, like if you're a targeted individual, you got nothing to lose. If you're anybody watching this, you have nothing to lose about talking about mind control and these huge infrastructures built to actually do, hit people with neuroweapons direct. You have nothing to lose. But all we have to lose is humanity. That's what we're going to lose now. Think about the long term. It's time to think about the long term. I know as human beings, and this is what the top of the pyramid gets off on, and that's how it does all this, is human beings say, I'm comfortable right now. I'm comfortable where I am. And I don't say that because I'm being tortured, right? You guys don't. The people who are not tortured, they're like, I'm comfortable where I am. I don't want to rock the boat. But then humanity ends in the next generation. So they really had nothing to lose. It was really about being honorable and fighting for humanity, not ourselves. But that's, of course, while we're being conditioned into a culture of selfishness, of oh, it's all about me. It's all about what I want to wear and makeup and blah, blah, blah. I'm not, people wear makeup. It's not bad. But you know what I'm saying? It's becoming about the self, making the self greater. And in that way, when crises like these are crises of humanity. Like, where's humanity going to go? They keep on tethering more and more people, controlling cities with broadcasts, with EMF broadcasts, controlling cities like that, and then having direct tethers to people. Humanity is at stake. It's at stake. And it's not going to be some Star Trek thing where everybody's just free and they're all together. It's going to be like the Borg. It's going to be like the Borg. I mean, that's a good metaphor for this, is the Borg. So, I mean, we don't want to be assimilated, and resistance is not futile. I wish I had that scene where Data, I showed that on one of my other videos, where Data was like, resistance is futile, and he just hits that thing and kills all these Borg. We got to be like that, man. Resistance is not futile. Like, nothing is set in stone in this world. In a very loud voice, like these rallies and the people who speak out at these rallies, the articles coming out, the organizations, very loud, virtuous voices can be way more powerful than $1 billion from some corporation that's trying to control the truth. It can really light a fire in the public. So we've really got to support, like, Freedom for Targeted Individuals, Targeted Justice, Targeted America, what Dr. Horton's doing, what Mola D is doing. We got to support all those things, because those voices that are fighting for what's right can make much more of a difference than these contractors that are murdering people and trying to cover it up. People to their core haven't been completely turned to evil yet. There are a lot of dumb people out there doing evil things, like in Nazi Germany, but not really understanding the big picture. But if they did understand the big picture, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it.
this
A
is
lot
just
of them
inevitable.
would. Some
Again,
of them
going
would.
back to when you decided to have this fatalistic viewpoint. So you tried to warn people. You talked about this pretty extensively. I've read several interviews where you talked about this, and then you just sort of said, okay, it just is. Let's just, and you, in a way, you're by communicating the potential fear. I mean, for sure, you're getting the warning out to some people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was really going on the warning quite a lot. I was warning everyone I could. You met with Obama, and just for one reason,
Just to talk about AI.
Yes.
And what did he say? So what about Hillary? Worry about her first. Shh. Everybody be quiet.
No, he listened. He certainly listened. I met with Congress. I was at a meeting of all 50 governors and talked about just AI danger. And
Now you see, this is what I think, and this is, I don't know, like this is a hypothesis. Would he have been able to meet with congressmen, with Obama and everybody like that if he was just some guy? Like if he was just some guy, would he have been able? No, he's connected with the military industrial complex. And what he did is he went and he told them how dangerous AI was. So they're going to need to connect it to people's brains. So that then Obama would do the brain initiative. So that then these people would do all these brain experimentation projects to connect this technology to people's brains, to experiment on people. So there's a trick. He goes in, he says, oh, AI is so dangerous, but look, I think we need to do this. I think we need to connect it to people's brains. AI is getting too big. If it's too big and you can't beat it, join it, right? That's what he's saying, which is a surrender monkey type of thing to say. I don't care how big something is. If it's evil and it's going to destroy humanity, I want no part of it, and I want to rip it down as much as I can, even if I'm a little human being. I'll talk to you guys, and you guys can get inspired and go out there and try and rip it down. And then y'all can inspire some people to go out there and try and rip it down. And Dr. Hort can inspire some people to go out there and rip it down. They can inspire some people to rip it down. And Ella can inspire some people to go rip it down. And then they can inspire some more people to rip it down. Brian too can inspire some people to go rip it down. Then they can inspire. You see what I'm saying? And this probability, this echo effect, a ripple effect goes out, right? So even if you're one little person, you can affect other people, inspire them to go do the same thing. Ripple, 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 ripple. Larger probability of getting people to understand this and then stopping it, or at least getting people to understand what's coming, what they're going to be fighting against. I think sometimes maybe this train can't be stopped, but at least getting people like my dad and my mom to understand why they're getting visuals in their head and they don't feel like themselves. It's important, because us being who we are is all humanity is, our freedom of choice. And I think even with mind control, we still have choice. It may be messed with. I think that I get mind controlled a little bit more than I'd like to admit. They do kind of, guide me to things. I'd never do violence or anything like that. But even with that, even with not knowing sometimes how much I'm controlled, I know I still have choice, because I know I still do things that my attackers would not want me to do, right? Choice. It's what humanity is all about. Without that, we're done. Without that, humanity's done. We will not be blessed by God. If we don't have our free will, which He created us to have, we will not be blessed by God. So I mean, it's way more dangerous than it's just so dangerous in the long run. It's so dangerous. And I just think that how is he talking to President Obama? How is he talking to all those people? He's a businessman, right? He's a rich businessman, and he's going and warning them about AI, but then he's saying, well, we can't stop it, so here's what we do. And he does the military industrial complex's job, because it's not some military industrial complex guy talking to Obama saying, hey, you need to do the brain initiative because we're going to be experimenting on a lot of Americans. It's Elon Musk saying, oh, AI is going to destroy us all unless we experiment on some Americans. And I can't prove that 100%, but he has a part to play in all this, and tricking people into doing what's happening to us. And then he gets his Neurolink out of it. He's putting up Starlink, and I'm going to show you all what that is. But he's not just some independent businessman who's like a genius. I mean, he's probably pretty smart, but he's a total poster boy for the military industrial complex.
No one seemed to realize where this was going. It will be.
Oh yeah, Tansy hashtag can't stop, won't stop, can't stop, won't stop. I was actually saying that last week because I was so tired and I knew I was about to just crash, and I kept saying can't stop, won't stop, and then I just stopped for a week. But yeah, that's awesome. Can't stop, won't stop. We gotta go. We gotta keep going, even if we have to take breaks. Yeah, Wayne Moore said no one did anything to warrant this shit. Yeah, even people in prison who have like committed murder or whatever, and they're hooking them up to this technology to play around with them or whatever. I still don't even think they deserve it. You know, we have laws, we have a justice system that screws up sometimes and puts innocent people in jail or sends innocent people to the electric chair. Our justice system, which has many people with oversight over it, makes tons of mistakes still, but it's like the best system we have. When you have something that's unaccountable and is just murdering people and raping them and raping their brains, and it's unaccountable, so they just start, going after good people from the very start. Hey, we need bad people to do this because they're the only ones who would rape and torture people for 24 hours a day. We're obviously going to have to go after good people. Look how immediately, because it was unaccountable, it got corrupted immediately. Immediately. When there's no oversight with human beings are going to do the most corrupt crap ever. You know, especially these people at the top who think they're another species from us. They don't think that we're the same species, and they're teaching these people in the Masons and everything that they're not necessarily the same species. We're like animals, so it's okay to kill us. It's just the philosophies, the cult mentality, the technology, the money, and everything like that. The control in society has gotten to this point out of hand where there's a genocide, there's a war constantly going on in every community at this second. People are waiting for World War III. You're too late. World War III is here forever. It's here. People are being murdered in their homes. We're in World War III. It's not a Cold War. It's a hot war with directed energy weapons and satellites being fired on innocent civilians who are screaming at the top of their lungs. We've been in World War III since after World War II. After World War II stopped, World War III started. And it was a different kind of war. It's a different kind of war in these military industrial complexes. They said, we need full spectrum dominance. We need full spectrum dominance. So we need control of people's thoughts. We need control of what they read. We need control of what they see on TV. You notice how all these shows, right? You got CSI, you got Law and Order. That's the new heroes, right? That's the new heroes. Every night, people are glued. My dad watches those shows. It's propaganda. It's so that we see all these authority figures as these heroes, and we don't question what they're doing while they do the most evil, corrupt stuff in society. I mean, this has been planned for so long, and it is a war. It's fought with different weapons. People are still expecting, and I know you guys don't do this, but people who have not been confronted by these directed energy weapons and neural weapons and all this psychological like psyops from TV shows, they still think it's going to be this gun war. You know, these skirmishes that happen in the Middle East, these wars that happen, they think that's what's going to happen. But for the people who, like Americans who are waiting for something specific, they'll just hook into you with electromagnetic frequencies and rip you apart from the inside. You know, it's here. World War III is here. World War III is here. World War III is here. It's here. I'm fighting it in this condo right now. You guys are fighting it in wherever y'all are tonight. Targeted individuals are just civilians being fired upon by neuroweapons and directed energy weapons. And there are millions and millions in the world. They're children, women, which I have so many targeted individual women with children in my chat, like right now, and who come to my chat all the time with children who are being targeted by neuroweapons. Please hear this if you are not a targeted individual and do something about it. Speak out about it. We have nothing to lose. No one, non-targeted individuals, targeted individuals, we all have nothing to lose. This stuff has to be talked about, has to be dragged out. The more that we wait on it, the more that they're going to advance it and do whatever the hell they want to humanity. I mean, that's the bottom line, right? Yeah, Wayne Moore says truth. Definitely. Yeah, Wayne Moore says, and Musk is a part of the sexy package. Like he's this, I mean, I don't know. He's not that great of a he's not that good looking of a guy. But you know, he seems very controllable. He seems like he can measure his words very well. He seems like the perfect poster boy. And guess what? He was in Iron Man 2. I watched Iron Man 2 the other day, and he was at when Tony Stark goes to the races, the racetrack to race his car. Elon Musk has a part in that movie, right? So being put out there to the public to equate him with Tony Stark. He's there. He's the little thing that Tony Stark goes to, the dinner that Tony Stark goes to, equating him with Tony Stark, building him up, building the public's perception that he's the super genius that just came up with all these technologies. It's so clear to me what he is. And you know, maybe he doesn't think he's doing it. Maybe he thinks he's saving humanity by murdering us, right? We got to hook into those people's brains. We got to hook into people's brains, because if we don't, the singularity is going to happen and kill us all anyway, right? It seems like people are having these extreme thoughts nowadays where it's like, well, if we don't kill this family, all families will die, when it didn't have to happen in the first place, when none of it had to happen in the first place. And the top of the pyramid is laughing at us all. They're telling these people that are microwaving me and my family, hey, you know, you got to kill them because we got to make these weapons more advanced. We got to beat Russia. Russia will come invade us, and China will come and invade us if we don't do this. It's just a couple of families, right? They're laughing at them. They're laughing at me. They're laughing at everybody, the people at the top of the pyramid. We need to somehow drag them down.
Reality.
People at the top of the pyramid.
We'll lose this. We'll lose this. Like you and I are just looking at each other through our eyes.
Yeah,
See you, you see me. I think.
Wayne said, not a looks thing, an image thing. Yeah, like his image. His image is sexy. Yeah, Nicholas Hamlin says, I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man. Yeah, Nicholas is working on some really good stuff. Yeah. Barefoot Sungator says, Elon Musk was literally bred and groomed and trained like a little monkey for what he was doing. I wouldn't be surprised if he was connected and tethered to electromagnetic energy. Like if he had some AI helping him out to say the right things, because you know how he kind of acts weird a lot, because he probably has electromagnetic frequencies coursing through his brain. I don't think he's a robot or anything like that, but I think that he gets a little bit of help when he's thinking, because the military industrial complex is pushing him out front. And so he's probably attached to some of this, like what we're attached to, but a positive program, right? I hate to tell you guys this, but I'm pretty sure about this. There are a lot of people out in society and in other countries that they're targeted for positivity. Like the electromagnetic frequencies are making them happier, making them smarter, and all this stuff. We don't hear from them in the targeted individual community, right? Because you know they want to say, oh, well, that's me, a human being who has good stuff happening to them and is like great. They want to take credit for that, right? So that's a definite protocol. I don't know how many people. I don't know if it's as many as the targeted individuals that are being murdered and our brains are being torn apart. But I guarantee you that protocol is definitely going on from some of these contractors. That makes me a lot more angry about what I'm going through and what you guys are going through. Cheryl says, not many videos and I can't put any more on. I tried it won't let me. I'm hacked anyways. Yeah. All I can do, like my attackers hack my computer. I just turn it off and turn it back on. I made a video on my phone and I uploaded it on the computer. It didn't seem like they could get to it because of YouTube's new format. I do the old school, like get the virus protection going. But I think that if they're gonna hack it, sometimes they're just gonna hack it, turning off the system, turning it back on, doing the virus protection thing, and then after the virus protection runs, the virus check, then turn off the computer and restart it. and it might kick them out. Because I think a lot of our attackers, they aren't using radio frequency straight to the motherboard. They're actually going in through the back door of the software. Now, some of them, a percentage could be just going straight to the motherboard. Because my attacker screwed up my battery, where I have to have my battery plugged in all the time. If I unplug it, the computer shuts off. So they did something, they hit my computer where it's really messed up. The best advice I can have, your attackers are hacking you, your phones, your emails, your computer, your tablet, your phone, I said phone already, is just keep doing things like keep turning it on and off, keep trying to kick them back out of there, because that's what I did, and trying to have a lot of emotion about it. Just be like, okay, I'm going to turn my phone off and turn it back on, and then try not to get angry or anything. Keep doing that, and then they may stop. They may try and do something else to you, because they usually do things to piss you off. So, wish I had better advice on that. Yeah, Barefoot Sungator says totally. He is the mark of the beast, little antichrist creep ass. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says he acts weird because he's a thinker. I can understand that, Drunken Ninja, but sometimes he acts like super weird, and like it looks like he's almost like waiting for words and stuff like that. I'm not 100% on it. I'm not 100% that he's hooked up, tethered to electromagnetic energy, that an AI is kind of helping him and putting information in his head. I'm not sure. I have a lot of questions about him. So I'm throwing a hypothesis out there that I know he's connected to the military-industrial complex. I'll show y'all. We'll finish this up. I hope y'all can hear it. Okay, Pine Doc said something really important. Pine Doc says, I'm so glad Jesus Christ came in the flesh and conquered all darkness 2,000 years ago, defeated Satan and all demons and devils, because all this is extremely satanic. Defeated Luciferians. Yeah. And I think God owns this world and God owns this universe. And somebody was saying like the other night that this is a fallen world and kind of Satan owns it. But then somebody said, I think it was maybe David Irwin said, but God owns the devil. God is in control of what the devil does. So this evil in the world, God controls it. He knows it's going on. He's put us in this time place, and evil has already been defeated through him. And I think that's great, Pine. I think that's a great way to say it. Like, even though we're going through this evil, right, and we're going up against a lot of evil things and pain and struggle and torture and stuff, brains being melted, it's already been defeated. God's going to give us a balance. God's already so powerful, and we're going to be amazed at how he puts good things in our life, even with this. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it and I've felt it. I'm just going to try. I'm just going to do what my grandfather said. Even though he slay me, I will trust in him. Even with this big stuff going on and I don't know where it's going, I will be a good person. I will help people, and I will trust in my God. So that's all. I got to simplify it sometimes. This stuff gets so complicated. Yeah, Wayne Morris says they are not his ideas, I don't think. Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. I think he's just put out there to put out certain ideas for propaganda to the public, so that when this does come out, they can be like, oh, Elon Musk called that. Oh, he said, yeah, we need to connect up to human brains. It's for a specific reason. I don't trust anybody who's doing SpaceX, which is space exploration, which is a contractor that works with the military-industrial complex, putting up thousands of satellites with Starlink, and then has Neurolink, right, which is connecting to the brain. I don't trust them that they're not connected to the military-industrial complex. Space exploration, satellites, Neuralink. I mean, come on. He's just an independent company doing that stuff, doing exactly what the military-industrial complex is investing all of its resources in. Yeah, no way. Yeah, Cheryl Lou says Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, dude, that guy seems like a robot. He really seems like a robot. And Facebook is getting all this technology, mind reading technology, where you can think something and it's typed out. Yeah, that guy is doing the court case against him. Yeah, Nicholas says it too. Like for the hacking stuff. Oh man, I cannot stress the importance of rebooting. For God's sake, turn it off and back on again. And it sounds simple, but sometimes it's just like I think if you buy a new computer, they're going to be able to hack into that. If you just reboot, it's going to take them a while to hack back in. You may be able to do some of that stuff you're trying to do. It really does work. I'll just reboot a lot. I get, 360. Try 360 virus protection software. It's free. It's free, and you can just run virus. You can run scans on your computer, and it may be able to get some of those backdoor programs that your attackers have on your computer. If not, because they tend to build up these backdoor programs, these things that they'll place in that run while your computer's running. And if you can get something like 360, it can take out some of those programs. So I don't think it can get them out entirely, but it can kind of ease it up so they're only able to do certain things. Entity Shadow says he is the public relations puppet of the powers that be. I agree. I agree with that. David Irwin says, I had thought better of Musk, but watching his body language in this clip, I don't see the passion of a futurist or inventor. I see a smooth political shield. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's too calm and collected. Like his words are measured very carefully. And I know that some scientists act like that, but it just seems off. Like if he's worried about humanity being, overpowered by AI, you think he'd be way more passionate. I think that's a great insight. I think that's a really good insight. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this video, guys, and then I'll read some more of y'all's comments. Cheryl Lewis says, oops, is short in my Neurolink. Oh, yeah, Wayne Moore says, anyone making TI shirts? And then I think Cheryl said she got one from Nex. Nex had TI, hashtag TI Lives Matter. And then you can go to stopgangstalkingcrimes.com, and there's a link to get t-shirts. I have one. I'll show you on the next video. But there's one that's really good. It's like directed energy weapons are used on targeted individuals, and then it gives the website stopgangstalkingcrimes.com. Drunken Ninja says, Avast works good too, and Malware Bits works great. Okay, so Drunken Ninja says Avast, and I think Avast is free. Like you can get certain stuff from Avast for free, and then Malware Bits, yeah. And I use 360. It's like 360 total security or something like that. I think it's pretty good. Yeah, we need some really cool. I think stopgangstalkingcrimes.com still has some, and then Nex has some.
I hope.
You think so?
I think you probably have regularized.
This could be some simulation.
It could. Do you entertain that?
Well, the argument for the simulation, I think, is quite strong. Because if you assume any improvements at all over time, if you assume any rate of improvement at all, then games will be indistinguishable from reality. Or civilization will end. One of those two things will happen. Therefore, we are most likely in a simulation.
So he's talking about the simulation, right? He's talking about the chance that we are a very, very advanced simulation. Like me and you guys and all this is an advanced simulation running, by people outside of the universe, right? How we have like the Sims and stuff like that. It's like we're, y'all have heard about the simulation theory. I I think that's crazy. I have friends that really believe in it. Elon Musk is saying that there's a good percentage chance that it's true. Sometimes the coincidences that I experience and things like that kind of have me shaking my head, and I'm like, well, I think that's a wink from God, right? I think there's this weird coincidental thing. It's an interesting theory, but I think that us knowing that we're a simulation, it's such an advanced simulation that we wouldn't be able to know it, right? Because it wouldn't really be a simulation where like we do simulations and they're so what's the word I'm looking for? They're so basic. This would be a very, very complicated simulation where it'd be a very advanced civilization that did it. That would be, that's one of those things where we'll never figure that out. It's just a positive theory. Maybe I believe that God has created the simulation. We're creation from God. So yeah, we're kind of a simulation. God can interact with us and stuff like that. Depends on how you look at it, right? And I sometimes think that, like, God created the universe, God created the heavens and the earth, and then sometimes he'll like put things in my path that seem like coincidences. So I'm like, well, it's God's simulation, right? What do you guys think? Do you think there's a probability that all this is a simulation? That stuff makes my head just, the targeting stuff's already so complicated that I'm just like, if we can feel pain and other people can feel pain, I deal with that as the real world. I don't need to know, if I feel like if it is a simulation, it's God's simulation. New Type says, by the way, thank you all. And though I know it's difficult, thank you, Wolverine, for doing these. It helps us so much. Yeah, no problem, guys. I needed to do a live stream. I haven't in a while, and yeah, I'm really having a hard time. It helps me when I'm doing something. It helps you to process trauma and heartbreak when you're doing something, And so that's what I'm doing. I like that, David. David Irwin says, Christ is the best antivirus suite for your brain. Get Jesus today. I'd really recommend that too, guys. It's been the only reason that I've survived, that I haven't gone insane. Well, I have gone insane, actually. I've gone insane many times. Like, my perception, right, from knowing that this is happening to me and y'all, it's broken my mind many, many times over, because it's too much, right? It's too much, especially if you're a human being. Like, I know all you guys in chat that watch these videos, you want to help people. You don't like it when people suffer. And then you've got this global system of mind control and torturing children, torturing families, raping people's minds. And it's like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm one guy. I know some of you guys are too. And all we can do is put out information, try and help the bigger organizations. Things will develop. Great people will develop bigger things. Neuroethics is going to be a big topic that I think even some of the people who have been involved in this stuff are going to start talking about, because they're going to have seen the horrors, like James G. Adorno. And I don't know what to think about that. I don't know whether to condemn him or to say, yeah, I hope that he talks about neuroethics and puts all this stuff out. And I don't really care if he can save lives at this point. I don't know if I care about his involvement. That's a complicated thing. Some of you guys maybe like string him up. I think I'm more worried about the people dying right now than getting vengeance. Like, we got to save lives, as many as we can now. Worry about vengeance later when that has been taken care of. And that gets too complicated. Yeah, Pine Dog says, yes, I'm insane, but Jesus is helping me through all this. It's really hard, but I can get through anything and everything with him. I love him so much. Yeah, Pine Dog. I agree. Yeah, it's beautiful. And really, like, even if we go insane from this stuff, the psychic driving, the remote neural manipulation, when we put ourselves back together with Jesus Christ, with God, you know, it doesn't split us. You know, we don't split into different personalities and stuff like somebody who maybe would try and put themselves together without God. Okay, let's go ahead and finish up this video.
Or we're on our way to one, right? Well, just because we exist, we could most certainly be on the road. We could be on the road to that, right? It doesn't mean that it has to have already happened.
Base reality. We could be in base reality.
We could be here now on our way to the road or on our way to the destination where this can never happen again, where we are completely ingrained in some sort of an artificial technology or some sort of a symbiotic relationship with the internet or the next level of sharing information. But right now we're not there yet. That's possible too, right? It's possible that a simulation is one day going to be inevitable. That we're going to have something that's indistinguishable from regular reality. But maybe we're not there yet. That's also possible. We're not quite there yet. That this is real. I touched that.
It feels very real. I think most likely this is just about probability. There are many, many simulations. These simulations are, you might as well call them reality, or you could call them multiverse.
These simulations you believe are created, like someone has manufactured.
They're running on a substrate.
So
that substrate is probably boring.
Boring. How so?
Well, when we create a simulation, like a game or a movie, it's a distillation of what's interesting about life. You know, like it takes a year to shoot an action movie, and then that's all distilled down into 2 or 3 hours. So let me tell you, if you see an action movie being filmed, it's boring, super boring. There's like lots of takes. Everything's in a green screen. It looks pretty goofy. Doesn't look cool. But once you have the CGI and have great editing, it's amazing. So I think most likely, if we're a simulation, it's really boring outside the simulation.
Ooh, I like that. David Irwin says, first there was the Word, like the Word of God. First there was the Word, breath of God. Okay, Ella Advocate says, Cheryl, Pearly Gardner or Pearly Imbuito Gardner, her gallery has heaps of her wearing the t-shirt she got printed. She might have some shirts. It's funny. Strong-minded individual says, I want to wear a t-shirt that says I'm on a government watch list and then walk into the police station. Yeah. I mean, like a lot of these police are starting to understand, some of the ones that are further down, we got to just keep telling them, like, it's like they understand, all these authority figures know we're not insane. Like police, doctors, and stuff like that. They're at the point where they know something's happening. They have to maybe act like we're insane sometimes, but they know we're not insane. Like the vindication is already rolling on, right? And so you're not going to really be, you might be treated as crazy because people are scared, but they're going to know you're not crazy. You know, that's the kind of where we're getting to. Yeah, Pine Doc says this is satanic ritual abuse. Yeah, in every way. In every way. Rape of the mind, rape of the body. It's what it is. It's satanic ritual abuse, and then it's put into this technocratic form so that, you know, ex-military and stuff like that will do it as a job, but it's basically taking satanic ritual abuse and bringing it mainstream. It's just like a job. And that's what the people at the top of the pyramid, they want a huge satanic ritual, you know, of the general public on the globe.
Because why would you make simulations boring? It makes simulation way more interesting than base reality.
That is, if this right now is a simulation.
Yeah.
And ultimately, inevitably, as long as we don't die or get hit by a meteor, we're going to create some sort of simulation if we continue on the same technological path we're on right now.
Yeah.
But we might not be there yet. So it might not be a simulation here. But it most likely is, you feel, other places.
This notion of place or where is
flawed.
Yeah.
Flawed
like where,
perception.
like right. That, if you have this sort of that vibe, was made by Valve and it's really Valve that made it. HTC did the hardware, but it's really a Valve thing.
Makers of Half-Life.
Yes. Well, very good company. Great company. When you're in that virtual reality, which is only going to get better, where are you? Where are you really?
Right.
You aren't anywhere.
Well, where's
you're in the computer?
What defines where you are?
Exactly.
Right.
It's your perception.
Is it your perceptions, or is it a scale that we have under your butt? You're right here. I've measured you at the same weight as you were when you left. But meanwhile, your experience.
Why do you think you're where you are right now?
Okay, so let's read this. But understand this, that in the last days there will come times of stress, for men will be lovers of self. We were talking about that earlier. Lovers of money, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, inhuman, implacable, slanderers, profligates, fierce, haters of good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, holding the form of religion but denying the power of it. Avoid such people, right? There's a lot of people who, they deny the power that God can do anything. God can do anything, but they like the dogma of religion, or other things that aren't the Christian religion, like the Masonic religion. They deny the power of God. They say man is God, so we have the power, right? So it's this great aberration. It's this great aberration from respecting the power of God and creation into saying, well, we're now God, and then people cannot be God. They screw everything up, right? Let's see if he put anything else at the end of this. I want to show y'all Starlink. I want to show y'all what Starlink is. So it's 2 Timothy 3. Okay, I think that was it. Let me show you guys Starlink real quick, just so you'll understand where I think Elon Musk fits into all this. Where is that? Okay, so this is from Mad Scientist Laboratory, which now the entire globe is just a mad scientist laboratory with these electromagnetic frequencies, neuroweapons, and directed energy weapons, exploring the operational environment. The operational environment is now everybody in the world, their choice. They have no choice. They're pulled into experiments and torture. The world has been turned into a mad scientist laboratory, which is an aberration. So tag Elon Musk. Check this out. Okay, how satellites the size of a grilled cheese sandwich could change the world, by Aaron Pressman, Fortune magazine from the 24th of January, 2019. Space is rapidly democratizing, and the death of tactical and operational surprise might be the casualty. Sarah Spangelo and her startup Swarm Technologies is on a quest to deliver global communications at the lowest possible cost. This is a shared objective with companies like Elon Musk's Starlink, but his solution includes thousands of satellites requiring many successful rocket launches. Swarm Technologies takes the decrease in launch costs due to commercialization and miniaturization of satellites to the max. Swarm Technology satellites will be the size of a grilled cheese sandwich and will harness the currents coursing through space to maneuver. This should reduce the required cost. Okay, so I wanted to talk about Starlink. They're talking about Swarm Technologies, which are more satellites being put up. Can you guys see this? Hold on, let me go back out just to make sure. I'm not sure that when I switch screens, it shows you guys. Okay, here it is. So SpaceX Starlink, here's everything you need to know. Unless you've been living in a technological black hole for the last few years, you've probably heard of Elon Musk and read stories about his ambitious ideas and startups. Between sexy electric cars, hyperloop transit systems, reusable rockets, and Mars colonies, there's certainly no shortage of things to look forward to from the guy. In this article, we'll explore one of his more intriguing pursuits dubbed Starlink and the implications it has for both the internet and the world at large. So watch how they're spinning this thing, but let's think as targeted individuals. We can be targeted anywhere in the world. What does it take for that to happen, right? And how does Elon Musk fit into that? Here's a breakdown of what SpaceX Starlink is and why you should get pumped about it. I'm not pumped about a bunch of satellites that can. So let me read the part. Okay, so here it is. In 2015, Musk began probing the FCC about testing a global broadband system. And in September of 2017, filed applications for a satellite-based broadband network called, you guessed it, Starlink, with the objective of eventually building a low-cost satellite-based broadband network capable of delivering internet access to the entire globe. So think about it, with satellites being the brain of all this targeting, and it uses microwave towers, 5G towers, over-the-horizon radar, ground radar, drones, planes, and stuff like that. Elon Musk puts up thousands of satellites globally to bridge the gaps in the Internet of Things. And this is, I can't prove it 100%, but I think it should be pretty obvious. We're being targeted by satellite-driven directed energy and neuro weapons and stuff like that on a global scale, right? This would give internet, so the internet signals can be sent anywhere on the earth. And what do they want to make sure that targets can't get away from? Directed energy signals being hooked into, the neuro weapons, the bidirectional stream of energy. And I guarantee you that these satellites that he put up play into that, It sounds pretty straightforward, but what makes Starlink special compared to conventional satellite internet? Well, to put it plainly, while satellite internet has been around for ages, it has generally suffered from high latency, unreliable connections, and spotty service areas. With Starlink, SpaceX intends to put a constellation of satellites in low Earth orbit, thereby providing high-speed, cable-like internet to every corner of the planet. The project is expected to cost around $10 billion in total. So I just wanted to read that to you guys. And of course, they're going to just say, well, it just fits into the Internet of Things. It makes sure you can get internet anywhere you are on the globe, right? That's what they're going to say about it. But I think it really does play into our targeting. It plays into stop gaps, like making sure there's no gaps in the targeting, where if you go into the forest or the mountains or something like that, they can still hit you. So I think all this stuff is playing into each other, and I think that Elon Musk is a huge poster boy for the military-industrial complex. He's the one who's bringing out Neurolink. He's actually putting up Starlink, is these thousands of satellites, and he plays a role in this. I think Mark Zuckerberg, like Cheryl was saying, I think he plays a part in this. I think all these people, they don't really come up with these ideas on their own. I think they're filtered out. All these ideas are filtered out to be used as data collection and weapons, and they have poster childs for them that they say, oh, this brilliant person just came up with this out of nowhere. I don't think that happens anymore. And in the advances at MIT, where it's like they're using phased array antennas to create electromagnetic fields around the head, then infrasound and ultrasound to then manipulate the brain. You know, oh, some MIT scientists just figured it out from nowhere. No, no, it was trickled out from the military industrial complex to do a slow trickle to give medical advances and consumer advances and things like that. And it's all part of the plan. It's all part of that plan. Yeah, Birgit Sanders says, Tanya, the neighbors torture you and then they say good morning when you meet them. Yeah. David Irwin says, oh, Nicholas, don't, yeah, y'all be careful. Be careful about timing out people and stuff, guys. Because Tanya's a definite friend of the channel. She's a targeted individual. Okay, so David Irwin says, I know, right? People don't start using their thumbs. Cats are going to think it's time to claim their rightful place. Yeah, Birgit Sanders says, confused. Like Wayne was asking her if she's okay. I'm confused, guys. This is all too much to take in. It's all too much to take in. We have to understand that there's a big picture here, though. We kind of just got to bottom line it, right? You know, we're being experimented on. We're being tortured for these various reasons by various contractors. There's a bigger picture at play here, but we've just got to, you know, we've kind of got to stick to the bottom line of, you know, we're being experimented on. These weapons are being advanced. You know, neural weapons are being advanced. Study of the brain and the nervous system is going on, you know, to increase the control that they can have over a human being, to increase the power of artificial intelligence that they're using. You know, and there's so many angles to this targeting. There's so many angles, complicated angles, right? Think about it. If you're at the top of the pyramid and you're like, we're going to be experimenting on people worldwide, we're going to be hooking into them with electromagnetic frequencies and experimenting on their brains, trying to get them to kill themselves, you know, torturing them. You want to make it as complicated as possible, right? You want to make it as complicated as possible. Then you want to put out this conditioning to society that says if anything is way too complicated, it's probably a conspiracy theory, right? So they got this propaganda out that says if anything has more than one sentence, it's a conspiracy theory. There's no way it's happening. And then they make sure this really, really awful satanic thing that they're doing worldwide, they make sure it's so complicated so the people whose brains are being damaged have just a hard time explaining kind of the bottom line of it. But then to really get into all the angles, it's, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, right? That's what's happened. They want to take the public and make them think that if anything has more than two sentences in it, it's a conspiracy theory. And then on the other side of it, with the things they do, they want to make them so complicated, make these new Frankenstein monsters that people don't even know there are corporations / military agencies. There's corporations, they're contractors that are murdering citizens that can be hired out. So they're half corporation, half military. And there's tons of these. They're front companies. It's like this new evolution in how the military works. So they want to make things as complicated as possible on the side where they're doing things. Now on the side where they're trying to hide everything from, they want to make all those people think that if it's not simplicity, it's delusion. And then what that guy from the CIA say? I think it was like William Casey or something like that. He said, when everything that the American population knows is wrong, we'll have done what we want it to do. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to shrink down people's understanding of what's happening in their world and make them fearful and make them think if anything's so complicated, then it's definitely a conspiracy theory. But then on the side where they're working, where they're doing things, they want to make it as complicated and convoluted as possible so that when people tell other people about it, oh, that's conspiracy theory. This is very, very thought out. Like evil doesn't sleep. Like, and if some evil people go to sleep, they'll use AI to do their evil, or they'll get more evil people to do it. Good people have been sleeping for too long. We just want to take care of our families and stuff like that. And I think things have to change where, good people get backlash. We've got to meet this because evil really doesn't have anything to do. Like, it just wants to control and kill people. And it's created an AI that's really evil too, that doesn't need sleep. So we're in a pickle. And obviously we're in a pickle. But I mean, the best thing is just to get information out, just keep learning as much as you can, but keep that bottom line. Don't let, the stuff that I'm talking about tonight, AI, some targeted individuals, they get it, they understand it. If it's too complicated for you, like, because you're just being targeted, just keep we're being experimented on, we're being tortured by neuro weapons, by directed energy weapons. There's certain things to attenuate these things. We've got to keep surviving and moving on, learning everything and making sure we keep that bottom line. Don't let your head, because I do this too. It's pretty complicated. Have your bottom line, like a lot of people in chat and me, God's my bottom line, right? In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray, that God will take care of some of this. I can't figure out everything. I can't know exactly all the different frequencies and infrasound and ultrasound, the exact things that my attackers use on me. So I pray to God to lead me to things. And that's that can of Nas. It pops out. And we've got to depend on a higher source because this is a complicated evil, and it's going to take a lot of people. It's going to take a lot of people. It's going to take me talking on this channel. It's going to take a bunch of other target individuals doing their thing, and then that's going to have to spread out because we don't have enough knowledge right now. It's going to take Brian too, and Ella, and Romola D, and Dr. Horton, and I can't remember the other guys, but Targeted Justice, Targeted America, and then it's going to have non-targeted individuals start talking about this because of the rallies, and it's just going to be like this tree building out of awareness, right? So we're just trying to start the fire. We're just trying to spark up the fire, and then it just keeps flowing. Then more and more smart people start learning about this stuff and start researching it, and then they figure out more about it. And then maybe some people from the other side who worked on some stuff that maybe didn't kill people, they come over and say, oh, well, this is how it works. So we add that together, right? And then it's a lot of people talking about it, so we don't have to carry the weight of this on ourselves while our brain is being, microwaved and torn apart. All right, so we gotta push the information out, and try and enjoy life because I don't know where this is headed. It looks like the top of the pyramid has screwed up the world so much, and they've created these systems, built-in mechanisms. So we've really got to trust in God here. You need to find your faith. I'd say that's number one. Find your faith because this stuff is really hard. We're going to have to find some enjoyment and joy while we're being tortured. We got to find defenses to attenuate, and then find some room to appreciate life. I mean, think about it this way. Would you have rather never existed, or would you rather have had this life with this pain? I think that I want to exist even with this. It's a gift. Life is a gift, right? Our lives are a gift. Other people's lives are a gift. These evil people don't want to treat it that way. They want to treat it like, oh, everybody's just cattle or whatever. They're wrong. They're wrong. Everybody has a destiny. God has put everybody on this earth for this earth and the next life. And you have a destiny. This is a gift. Remember that life's a gift. Remember that other people's lives are a gift. We start ripple affecting on that. Appreciation of life. This AI can go to hell. It's not human life. I wouldn't give one human life to build this AI. So, we got to fight against it if we think it's wrong. Go with your conscience, go with what you're good at, your gifts, what you know about this stuff, and let's just keep going, guys. Way more says Ninja got the juice. Got the juice. Drunken Ninja says I got all the knowledge. Got the knowledge in my head. All right, guys. All right, guys. I love y'all. I'll do some more live streams this weekend. We'll maybe do I've got this really good article. I'll kind of give y'all a preview of it. Well, no, I'll just do it's like 28 pages of just neuro war and neuro warfare straight from the Air Force, and it can give us an idea of the big picture from the military side, right? Remember, there's a lot of angles. There's consumer angles, there's medical industry angles, then there's what the military wants to do with it, and there's all these the medical industry, the consumer industry like Facebook, Google, and then other markets, and then the military. And all these are kind of intertwined together. So the military gets it and uses it for a weapon and advances it. Then the military industrial complex, along with the Pentagon and people probably even higher up, they decide how to trickle it out into consumer markets to help those people that are involved in the military industrial complex. They also decide how to trickle it out into medical markets too. This is a huge global, lots of people making money on our deaths. Lots of people making lots of money off of our deaths. And, you know, I'm glad I don't hear that crap anymore where people are like, oh, what makes you so special that the government's following you around and the government's targeting you? So many people are being targeted, millions and millions and millions of people, and more than that, because some people aren't being directly targeted with beams and stuff, but they're being targeted by patents of electromagnetic fields that come off their computer monitors, their TVs, their iPhones. Everybody's being targeted. So nobody's saying, oh, look at, I'm so special, the government's targeting me, or these industries, these contractors, everybody's being targeted. So I'm glad I don't hear that crap anymore. It's so stupid. And probably the people saying that, what makes you so stupid, they're probably being targeted too. Like everybody in the world is being targeted. The people that are targeting me, they're being used. They're murdering people, which is going to really hurt them in the long run if they have any kind of soul in them. You know, the people gang stalking have to feel empty inside. They're probably surprised that they don't feel good about what they're doing, because human instincts are pretty good. Human instincts are pretty good. And when you're doing something bad, you don't feel so good, right? So they want everybody to destroy. They want the people doing it destroyed. They want the people it's being done to destroyed. And they want to just kind of collect all the data they can out of the human garbage that it's creating. And we've got to fight against that no matter what happens. Get with God on it, you know, and we just keep going. If we need to take breaks, my attackers punish the crap out of me. I'll be honest with you guys, and they're doing a lot of stuff to my brain and stuff like that. I'm not gonna try. Do or do not. There is no try. Darkness has risen, guys. The light to meet it. The light's rising. There are people that cannot do evil. I'm one of them. You guys are some of them. The people that come to this, there are people that they can't do. They would rather die against blatant evil than go along with it. There is good and evil. It's the fight for good and evil. So darkness is risen and it's rising. The light's coming. The light always kind of follows. We're going to balance this out. We're going to do this. We're going to do our best. We're going to do our best and try and live and try and help each other. I really am going to try and work on a small website. I'm going to do that because I need somewhere to direct people to defenses and things like that. So I'm going to be working on that. It's going to be tough. If I can get some help on that, if somebody's like really good at making websites and just, you know, I'll give you complete credit and say you did it. If you could help me with that, because I really want to get something where we just go through everything from ice packs to ZVS drivers. And then we put them in a priority base of like, if you don't have a lot of money, this is what you need to try first. And then you need to build up to this other stuff. Okay, guys, so that's kind of it for tonight. T.I. Ron, Baltimore, Maryland says, thanks for coming on and getting everyone together, Kyle. Great info from you and from everyone in chat. Thanks, y'all. Thank you, T.I. Ron. I need to have you guys. I need to have you on, just you, or maybe you can come on a panel or something. I really like having you guys on here. The last panel was I was getting frustrated. I think y'all could tell. My attacker hit me hard, and it's like you know, targeted individuals have a lot to say, have a lot of good stuff to say. But it was kind of like the flow wasn't going that well. Everybody was talking at the same time, and I was just like getting real agitated. So that was part of the reason I kind of took a break. Targeting with that, but we're still going to do panels. You know, sometimes it's just going to be like that. I'll try and be a little. I'm so tired. I don't like being a moderator. I don't like saying, "Hey, you stop talking." They taught. You know, I moderated a call for 2 years, and that's kind of why I stopped, because I'm so messed up from the targeting that I just want people to talk and wait for each other to talk and kind of, you know. But anyway, we'll work on that kind of stuff. T.I. Ron, Baltimore, Maryland says they can only get the thoughts you think about Pine Doc on the surface. It might feel like they can, but you have to think of it from what I've been told. Yeah, and sometimes you guys, you might feel like they're getting memories that you have not thought of. But remember, when you sleep at night, your brain goes through a lot of things that you're not necessarily remembering. So your attackers might get some memories that, like, oh, I didn't think about that. They must have dug that memory out without me thinking about it. But you probably thought it in your sleep. You know, you probably thought it when you were asleep. T.I. Ron's right. From what I've learned and from what's being done to me, you have to think it for them to grab that thought, because they're reading electromagnetic signals, right? Your brain is electromagnetic. And so when you think a thought, they're picking up that signal. Now, if something's buried down in your like long-term memory and you never think about it, they're not going to just be able to dig through your brain to get that. They're reading signals that your brain's producing. So from everything I've learned, that's right. Barefoot Sungazer says, I just made it so I'm the only one. It's called Targeted Individuals. There is a main channel we can always talk on throughout the days and nights. That's awesome. Yeah. And guys, I guess I want to say the channel again. I wish Future Knowledge was here because I forgot it already. So there's a Discord. So Barefoot Sungazer's doing the Discord. I don't know how to get to that. But ask her. Ask Barefoot Sungazer. Okay, so she says, so if ever after these chats anyone ever wants to continue talking, we could do it on there, like voice to voice. Okay, and then there's the Matrix Readjustment 4.0. Matrix. Wait, let me check that. It's either Matrix Readjustment or Matrix Adjustment. Let me see. I think it's Matrix Adjustment. Matrix Adjustment 4.0. So Matrix Adjustment 4.0, where you can go and talk all the time, you know, to other targeted individuals. And I'll be trying to do more live streams and stuff like that. Yeah, I think the Discord should be good. That's a great idea that we have a 24-hour-a-day thing like Matrix Adjustment 4.0, or the Discords where target individuals who are in emergency mode can come. And you guys keep in mind some of the emergency things like ice packs on the head. You want to do that if you're in an emergency. Mylar blankets, like, you know, you can throw some stuff together like that. Really, guys, please, God, please put this in everybody's hearts and their heads. Please get Dave Case's CD and start listening to it. Just every targeted individual, no matter what you think you're experiencing, if you feel like you're getting hit with directed energy, get Dave Case's CD and start listening to it. Try those bone conduction headphones. Try the noise canceling hearing aids. These, I had to get new ones. They're $100 a piece. I hate it, they're so expensive, but they have the noise canceling technology. It is imperative. Like, this pain, I don't have to deal with it anymore. Like, I mean, I do when I take it out, but it's like pain that I've had for like 20 years that I didn't know was targeting. Like, it helps that. So basically the bottom line is, you know, pleasing music to your vestibular system, which is your inner ear, Schumann resonance to your inner ear, bone conduction headphones, get some crap going into your inner ear. And Dave Case's CD is the best crap that I found to flood your inner ear with, because it's similar frequencies to what they're using to manipulate our nervous system. They're just not harmful, right? So it's confusing their systems. It's confusing your attack. It will confuse the integrated weapon system that they're on, because they're using similar frequencies. So pleasing music, if you have nothing else. The Schumann resonance, 7.28. Let's go through some things that I use. Actually, maybe I'll do that tomorrow. And Wayne says disco karaoke. Listen to disco karaoke and you'll definitely feel better. I want to play a song. Let me play a song on the way out. It's from that show, The Mandalorian. And this awesome musician guy mixed it with the Rocky soundtrack. I don't know. I'll probably be copyrighted. I guess not. Maybe I won't be copyrighted. I'll play it on the intro of the next live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of wrap it up right now, guys. I need to kind of rest and stuff. Okay, so Drunken Ninja says Discord is its own app. So you just have to get Discord, and then I guess Barefoot Sungazer would have a title. And she was saying targeted individual would be the title of it, and then people could talk. Yeah, Ella Advocate says, thanks, Kyle. I still need Dave Case's CD. Wayne, I'll give the money to you to get it. If you just go to antitinitusv2k.com, okay, if you got Wayne, Ella Advocate, then he can just order it and send it to you. But that is so important, because you need to see what it's going to unhook. Because like a lot of stuff that it may feel like your stomach hurts, but it's being caused by remote neural manipulation. Now there are external hits, right? But it's easier to mop all the real external hits up after you've gotten the nervous system manipulation kind of really pushed back. Like without Dave Case's CD, I would be in, like for real, if I stopped using Dave Case's CD altogether, I would be in 20 times more pain than I am now. I'd be in 20 times more pain. Now bring that down with the noise canceling hearing aids and other stuff. If I didn't use any of the stuff that I'm using, I would be in 30 times more pain. Like I'm serious. Like I'm not even exaggerating. Like I'd be more of a mess than I am now, and I'm still a mess using all that stuff. I need to do something. I need to do something where I have it all in one spot, or maybe I'll make a PDF or something. Maybe I'll just do a PDF and pass it around, all the ideas and stuff like that. All right, guys, I love y'all so much. Yeah, Drunken Ninja says, don't get copyright. Go check it out. Go to Mandalorian/Rocky, and it's the Mandalorian soundtrack with the Rocky soundtrack. It's awesome. Yeah, I got copyrighted for the Joel Osteen thing, and I had to go edit it out. So, and YouTube's getting really bad. Yeah, Tansy says 100% correct, Kyle. Thank you for coming, Tansy. You guys seriously try Dave Case's CD, and then try and build from there, because I think that the thing is, like, Dave Case's CD is free. He's a saint, because he could sell that thing. He could sell that CD, but he doesn't. He wants it. And I think me and him discussed this. He was saying, maybe I should have sold it. Maybe I should have sold it because people don't understand the value of it because I give it away for free, right? And I kind of like, he's like a Christian man, and he's so humble, and he just wants to help people. But I was thinking, yeah, if you made it like $25, people would be like, oh man, this has value to it. Because it's a free CD, people are like, wow, free CD is not going to help me to defeat mind control technologies, right? And then there's many other things, dude. And many other defenses. They're going to get better and better. There's consumer markets that are growing up based on defending us from this stuff. GetLambs.com has a beanie, has T-shirts, has underwear. It's a newer lambskin mixed with other things that can 100% block out Wi-Fi, like 99.something%. So GetLambs.com. There's going to be lots of stuff. There already is. Let's build on that. Try things, guys. You're going to have to just try things sometimes. For those of you that are like, I don't know what to try. Just start with Dave Case CD. Get like a hat from Less EMF. I think it's like $20 or something like that. Getlambs.com. Get the beanie. I think I'm going to get the beanie next. That lead hat. But what I found, like, and I'll say this over and over, it's good. It's white propaganda, right? Good propaganda. Mixing and matching. Mixing and matching things like grounding, Dave Case's CD, passive shielding. They're gonna adapt to some of the things you use, but when you mix and match, they can't adapt all the way. And even like on Dave Case CD, even if I just use that, they would adapt to it a little bit, but they can't ever adapt all the way, right? And I say all this stuff a lot, but I just want to say it for people who are maybe coming to the channel for the first time. I'm going to try and get more organized so that I can just have all the ideas for defense and add to it. It's so important. It's so important. For people who are like, we don't need to defend against this stuff. We need to stop the program. Trust me, defending this stuff and attenuating it and getting more comfortable to where we can think better, it's going to increase the probability of ending this program, of getting awareness out, of winning court cases. It's necessary. It's a necessary step of defending it. It's not just defending it and then like the program goes on. We do this to step up, right? We defend to keep stepping up. So keep that in mind. Like these things that I'm saying, like it's not just, oh, well, let's not stop the program. Let's just defend and get ready for this to go on forever. No. It's like you got to defend so you can think clear. Your attackers will have less control. You won't be in so much pain. And then boom, 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 boom. We step up the steps. We run up the steps, and then the Hydra's at the top of it. And we cut off the head of the Hydra. Or Satan. Like, it's like, have you ever played that game, Dante's Inferno? Anybody who's played that, where Satan's like this big creature, but it's like there's this cartoon where Dante, not the Dante from the book, but the video game, he's running up the steps with this huge scythe, and then he just cuts Satan's head off. So we got to do that. Big scythe. Big scythe. Yeah, thanks guys. I love you guys. So check. Okay, so Barefoot put a link in for Discord. Do you guys get that? Thank you. Hey, thank you, Ella Advocate, for coming. Just get started on Dave Case's CD, and I need to talk to you about some other things too. It really concerns me that your children are being targeted. I'm going to try and do more videos just on if you have children that are going through this, what can you do that won't be too overwhelming for them? Things you can just do around the house. I'm really trying to get help from God on that. Just trying to really think about that. Yeah, David Irwin says, good night all. Endure in faith. That's perfect. Perfect. Endure in faith. Endure in faith, guys. Endure in faith and positivity. It's our only way through this. Yeah, Tansy, getlambs.com. All right, guys, I love y'all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Yeah, Generation says, try Dave Case's CD with the bone conduction headphones. That's what I'm going to start doing during the day. I feel like at night, when I tried that, it didn't work the same way. It was like working kind of differently. So I'm going to experiment with that more, but it can't hurt. It can't hurt. Like, that's the one thing. Dave Case CD, it may sound annoying, but I swear, I promise on my grandparents' graves, I promise on the Bible, I swear on my grandparents' graves and on my grandparent that still lives their life and my parents' lives, I swear on their lives that CD cannot hurt you, that it will only help. It will either help or maybe I don't see how a targeted individual could not be helped by it. It depends on how hooked in they are. You might have to use it for a longer period of time, but pretty much this remote neural manipulation is manipulating through our vestibular system. And Dave Case's CD kind of cuts that off. So I don't see, there may be some targeted individuals, who are just getting external hits. I don't think that that's occurring. I think that every target individual has the remote neural monitoring at least. So it should help. You know, Dave Case's CD should help. All right, guys. Good night. I love y'all, and I'll be back on this weekend definitely. All right, guys. I love y'all. Endure in faith. Endure in faith. I like it. All right, guys. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one.